like piloting the ship and just sitting on all our corpses and piloting it.
Made a throne of our bones.
King Daedalus.
They see me
Lord.
rolling.
Oh,
Hating.
and then we will forever, eternally serve as his crew.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Alright, so we are here at episode number 33 of the story thus far. Sean is jiggling dice that I'm sure is going to come up on the audio.
Jiggle.
It'll be good here, right? I'm picking out D20s.
Until now?
I'm adding
What is
some.
wrong with you?
I'm adding some.
I'm taking out these 20s and he smiled.
Okay.
And he looked at you like in the
Look
eye.
right
Yeah,
Okay,
totally.
I'm
I need my D20.
No, he
What
needs
you
to
gonna do
take
about
his
it?
time with his D20s,
Yeah.
please.
All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough, guys. Fair enough. So we are on episode number 33. And we are going to get some really quick information out. First is going to be Courtney.
Oh, right, Instagram. It's at _story this far.
We've only been doing this for 33 episodes. One day you'll get it, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
What is it Instagram again?
At _story thus far.
Okay.
Is that better?
That's good.
Okay.
That's good.
Okay.
Sean.
Story thus far at yahoo.com.
Yeah. So please send us all your hate mail. Other
That's
than
all we've
that-
gotten so far. No, I'm
That's always the goal.
totally kidding.
Your new minis up there somewhere.
Oh,
I don't know. If
okay. Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, I see him.
So
Nice.
yeah, we're gonna just jump right into it, guys. The story thus far, episode number 33. The story so far is this: the island of Chult is a minute-to-minute fight for your very lives. But as much as this island has tried its best to consume you, the four of you, Daedalus, Cole, Barag, and Terra, and somehow you've managed to beat it at every turn, but not entirely unchanged or unscathed. You follow a map that has led you to Blood Cove Cave, and there you had met with Baldur and the remains of a shipwrecked Watchful Eye. Captain Balduron's vessel, and it is one of the most legendary ships to ever sail the open waters. The ship, however, had taken a new form, and in order to prove yourselves worthy of it, you had to best it in combat. The battle was joined, and like hungry vultures that had come to pick at a carcass, Captain Gefilda the Gallows Gwynmill and her few remaining crew had come to steal yet another ship right out from under the nose of one Terra Highhill, thus depriving of Valor's Ransom of any hope of getting home. The battle was brutal, and one of the Gallows' crew had been decapitated by the cursed and ominous ship. However, Valor's Ransom, you guys had won the day, and you had won your prize. The Watchful Eye is now yours to command. The ship, having pulled you all aboard her deck and all that had remained alive, course would be set back to Baldur's Gate. However, there was also a bit of actionable intelligence that you guys gained. Not only do you learn that the Gallows is a lieutenant for the guild in all matters oceanic and naval, but the Sea Wolves were a figment, a creation perpetrated by the guild in the hopes of leading you all to a certain death, but at the very least luring you away while they prepared their master stroke. You also learned that the battle with Cinder, the Red Dragon, was also perpetrated by the guild, a ruse that had proved partially successful with the fall of the hero of the Sanguine Sands, your friend and herald of Hestia, Talvis. So the four of you are now docked in the alcove of Blood Cove. The Watchful Eye, in all her bone-chilling majesty, and her ghostly crew, ever ready to sail. Valor's Ransom, before you leave the ancient and primordial island of Chult, what would you like to do?
So Gefelda is still tied up, correct?
She is tied up on the deck, along with her four remaining crewmates.
Before I go to her, I'm actually going to check on the egg because it cracked.
It did crack. It did crack, and make a nature check.
15.
15. So you kind of made this specially made housing for it, almost like a backpack, where you kept it warm as you traveled. And you heard the crack, so you put the pack down, you take the egg out, and you see this very large crack formed all the way up from the bottom to the top of the egg. So yeah, you have the egg in your hand. It's a decent sized egg, but you're a halfling. So as you are looking at it, you do see a rather large crack. And as you're looking at it and you're studying it, you do hear scratching from within the egg. And as you're looking closely, you see a reptilian yellow eye staring right back at you from the inside of the egg.
So I'm just gonna kind of like stroke the egg where the claws are hitting to kind of give it like an indication that I'm there.
Okay. So as you kind of run your hand over the kind of where the crack is, you see a large dagger-like claw come out of the crack and just lay right on top of your hand as you have your hand on the egg.
So I'm gonna turn to the rest of the group and my baby is born. The egg, guys, the egg.
Is the egg currently? Is there anything emerging from it?
Looks like.
So
It looks. However, it has been submerged. It looks like it's in a weakened state. From that nature check, you know it probably needs help finishing the job. Probably wasn't ready,
Yeah.
but it is alive.
Do we see any features of it, or
No, you only see a claw come from the crack of the egg.
so I draw my weapon and point it at the egg. What is that?
It's my baby. And so as I say that, I point the frostbrand dagger at him.
That's not a baby.
That is my baby. You shoot it, you will go over this ship.
We were almost killed several times by those things. What good does it do you on board?
So you hear Gefel the Gallows say, "You know, he's right. You should probably kill that lizard."
So I point my gun over at her. Don't take my side. And I go back to the. So what? How are we gonna handle this if that thing decides to rampage in the middle of the night?
It's not gonna rampage.
Make a death save! It's on a rampage! You're all dead.
So I slowly put my gun away, and I just kind of take a few steps back and fold my arms and just wait to see what happens with the egg.
So I'm actually gonna I'm gonna motion to Barag and do you mind helping me out here?
No, I don't think I'm willing to help you out. I don't want to be killed.
No,
by
I'd love to.
whatever's in egg.
Go ahead.
Well, how about you do it then, Daedalus, since you're Mr. Fearless over there? All you, amigo.
Okay, fine.
I love how they're afraid of this 2-pound.
Yeah, right? I know, it's just tiny. It's like a tiny
the size of a football. No.
So I'm actually gonna help it like start to crack, and I'm gonna get like the blankets and stuff that I had earlier like ready to kind of wrap it.
Okay.
So that then it can get some warmth.
Sure. As you start cracking pieces of the egg, and Daedalus is holding the egg, and you're trying to kind of help the process along, it is kind of pushing from the inside of the egg until its head kind of pops out, and almost like bird-like, it just kind of like back and forth, like viewing everything, trying to get in as much information as possible. You being the first person that it sees, kind of like almost like a bird, it kind of imprints its first image into its brain. So it looks at you every time it veers its head one way, it looks back at you, and then veers another way, and then looks back at you, and then looks at something else and looks right back at you. So it's trying to process all of this information. Like a lot of the thunder lizards that you saw, or dinosaurs as they call it, it has a really soft fur coat, almost like feathers, like downy feathers, black, with an undertone of green underneath. Like a certain, when the sunlight hits it at certain angles, it looks green, and then it looks black. The only thing that's not really covered are the hands, as the hands now emerge, and the actual face. But yeah.
Okay, so
She begins her process of coming out.
it's a she. Yay!
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping for a she. So I'm gonna like gently like stroke the top of its head and kind of like wrap around it. Because is it out of the egg at this point?
Yeah, it's about halfway out. Still trying to, but you can actually, if you wanted to, by now you'd be able to lift it completely
Yeah, I'm
out.
gonna do that.
Okay.
And kind of start wrapping her
Okay.
in the blanket.
Make an animal handling check.
22.
Okay, easily enough. You're able to take the blanket, even at that high of a roll. This is a newborn, with very very little control. So the tail is whipping about, the limbs are whipping about. Even for an animal this small, the claws are very very sharp, and you get scratches that don't necessarily draw blood, but you could see the scratches in your hand until finally it calms itself and kind of starts to nestle against your chest.
So I'm gonna just again like very motherly kind of like hold it close and kind of stroke the head of it, and I'm gonna turn to her and say, I think I'm gonna name you Nox. I like the goddess of the night. And
So you hear Gafelda, Nox, another family member. Oh, by the way, how's your father? I heard he was sick.
So I start walking to her with basically baby.
Right.
And I sit probably about a good 5-10 feet away from her.
Okay. And you all see Tara start to march toward Gafelda.
And I'm just gonna sit cross-legged and look her dead in the eyes. And I look to the rest of her crew also. I forgive you.
So her eyes get big, and she was not expecting that. And you see her anger start to seethe on her face.
I forgive you for everything. For Talvis, for my brother, my dad, all of your transgressions leading these men to their deaths for nothing.
You don't want to slit my throat.
No, you're not worth.
You've become very smart.
No, I believe in forgiveness, and there was a point that I trusted you and I loved you more than, and I look down at the baby, and then I look at her, more than life itself. And I hope, maybe against all hope, that there is still some good in you, some part of the Gefelda that I cherished more than anything in this world.
You better hope I never get out of jail.
Then that is to your own accord. But just know this,
You've
and
gotten soft, High Hill. You've gotten very soft. I can't believe my cousin had such an undue influence on you. He's hard as stone.
well, and I look to Barag. You obviously don't know him as much as I do.
And then she looks at Barag and she says, I guess I don't.
I've changed quite a bit since those days. And then I look for, is there any rags nearby or anything?
No, it's
No.
more of a spectral ship.
Yeah. So I'll reach into my pack and just I'll pull off the binding from the shrunken head, and I'll just go over and just ball it up and just shove it in her mouth.
Okay. So after you do that, the shrunken head says, "See how it feels? It sucks. It's 1:55.
Good. Which way's north?
It's to your left, jackass."
Awesome. And I'll just throw him back in the pack.
No! You betrayed me again, Barag! And then you...
I was like, bring it back out. Maybe you can insult her for like the rest of the voyage.
I agree with that one.
Okay, and I'll pull him back out and just kind of hang it around her neck.
Pretty much, he's insulting her the whole time.
So,
Is that fish oil that I smell? Oh no, it's the gallows. So he's just completely going off on her, and she pays it no mind. It's just like water off a duck's back. What are the rest of you guys doing?
I approach Tara and I say, now what are we going to be doing about that black powder?
it's obviously important to you, yes?
You guys are still in the alcove. Literally, it's like 50 feet from where you are.
And I look over at the barrels. Well, if your crew would care to help us load it up, suppose we could maybe split it?
So, I turn to the spectral crew.
Well, Baldur is there, and he's there at the wheel. The crew is mostly around the gallows. And some of them are looking out into the ocean. You can kind of see the light, the ocean's light, kind of almost passing through their spectral forms.
So I'm going to turn to Baldur and you mind lending a few of your lads just to retrieve some things for us for our journey?
So he looks at you. We're not laborers.
Well, you got your answer, Cole. Maybe you...
We'll be shoving off with or without them barrels. Get busy, boy.
You
Or
bribe
stay.
a ghost. I thought you were the captain of this vessel. Appears your crew is
Get ready, me
taking
boys.
some time to get used to the idea.
We're shoving off.
They are my crew, but I listen to my crew. All of them.
Nice. Think they'd return the favor. So I look over at the barrel.
There's two of them.
There's two of them. And how far is the ship? Like, what distance would it have to be?
From the gang from where they are to the gangplank of the ship, which is the plank that goes from the shore to the actual ship. It's about 50 feet. I mean, you could tip it on its side and just roll it.
Yeah. So I run over and I.
Why did I say that?
And I.
Fucking dummy.
So I'll do exactly that.
I do what you said, DM.
I'll do exactly what you said.
I'm a dick.
But
No, you're not.
for whatever if we're working on the honor system here now, but I was going to do that. So
Sure you were.
I swear I thought of that first. So I run over to one of the barrels and I just say, "This one's mine," and I tip it over, make sure the lid's on it tight, and just start rolling it up towards the ship.
There's two. There's one that Tara took the lid off when she actually took the trap. There was that flint trap, and she disarmed the trap and popped the lid open.
Right.
So there's one with an open lid, and then there's one with a sealed lid. So I'm assuming you're rolling the one with the sealed lid.
I'll roll the one with the seal.
Okay, sure. Make an athletics check. Difficulty is, since you're doing this alone, difficulty is 12.
Come on, athletics. Natural 20.
Natural 20.
Damn.
Easily
That's
enough.
cool.
Easily enough. I was kind of hoping that you'd get a 1 and I'd say, oh, it fell off the gangplank into the ocean.
You just see a tear down
Yeah.
the cheek.
So yeah, easily enough. You get it,
Both
you pop it on its side, you roll it up the gangplank onto the ship, and it's there. So you've got a second barrel if you want.
Yeah, if it appears that there's, if if Cole seems to think that there's time to get the second barrel, he will run over and roll the other one.
The crew's looking a little antsy,
Um,
but make an intelligence check.
17.
You know that at the end of the day, the crew is they have to adhere to what the captain says, and you know in this case, the captain ultimately is Tara.
Right.
So you're pretty sure that they won't leave without you, but at the same time, this crew has been here for over 1,000 years, waiting to get on the open ocean. So they are antsy to get.
So I paused just for a brief moment to
course you
consider
do.
that, and then thinking about how extremely valuable in many ways the black powder is, I bolt off towards the barrel. Can the lid be reattached?
Yeah. Make a sleight of hand check.
Oh boy. Okay. That is going to be a 11.
11. Okay. So you grab the lid. You grab the binding that fastens the lid to the barrel. You tighten it as tight as you can possibly get it, and go ahead and now make your athletics check to roll it.
Sticking with this dice.
Yeah, do it.
Shouldn't have stuck with that dice.
What'd you roll?
Let me check if I have an inspiration left. I think I do. I think I do.
What did you roll?
What
What
I
did
rolled
you
a
roll?
4.
Okay.
I rolled a 4, so I have one inspiration left.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go ahead and use it.
Okay. So go ahead and re-roll.
I'd pick another one.
Yeah. I did it without thinking.
All the confidence just sucked out of that
You
moment.
get all the credit or blame for this roll.
That's fair.
Yeah.
9.
9 total.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have a little bit of problem, steering it from left to the. I mean, because it's not a completely flat object. It's a barrel. It's round.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a couple of times when you're on the gangplank, you're a little off center. You think it's going to go over, but you manage to catch it and get it on board.
Okay. Cool. So then I just kind of stand by the barrels and lean on one, just ready to
So
go.
satisfied with
Yeah.
yourself. That's fair. All right. So, anything else you guys want to do before you shove off?
Nah.
I would like to go back into the alcove and just take
This fucker.
one last kind of survey of the.
I would like to camp for the night at
I would
the
like
alcove.
Oh my god.
You guys want to crash here?
So why don't you go ahead and make an investigation roll?
Okay. I'm switching back. I feel good about this dice. Shouldn't have done that.
Shouldn't have
What
fucked
do you roll?
about this stuff.
3.
A 3.
Yeah.
Total?
Total.
Was that a natural? What was
That was a
Was it a
natural
1?
2
a natural?
with
two?
the 1 modifier.
Alright. You go into the alcove and you just see basically wreckage.
Yeah.
You bump into a stone column, as you're kind of looking around investigating. But you're pretty confident nobody saw you. And so you coolly go back to the watchful eye.
Oh yeah. So lean up against the barrel again. Ready when you guys are.
Take an inspiration. Jesus Christ, you guys crack me up. Alright, so Baldur looks at you and he says, Captain.
Alright, lads. Let's get the hell out of this place and let's go home.
So, slowly, she comes out of the alcove. Now, do you want to make a navigation check?
Yeah.
Using your tools? Yeah, you get advantage on that roll, so go ahead and make a check.
I mean, it would be a 17, but still.
So superstitious.
17 plus 9.
Um,
Do math.
Easily enough, you take your navigation tools out. There's a lot of maps on the ship itself. and you're able to use those maps. You're able to coordinate with the maps that you have. It's going to take about 4 weeks or so to get to Baldur's Gate.
Okay. So, I'm gonna turn to the group. Well, get cozy, guys. 4 weeks. We'll be home.
Oh,
So you hear Balduron say, 1 week.
fun.
So he points at this big brass bell on the deck. And the brass bell, it almost looks like it's an octopus. It's got like these long tentacles. And it's got a big, basically a metal bar of brass. And he points to it. And he says, Captain.
And so I just like kind of curtly nod and to him.
Mhm.
And it's like, is it like a brass handle that you cling it and
It's
hit?
it's literally just a brass bar. You
Okay.
have no idea how to use it. You're not a bard, but you have a feeling it has something to do with that bell.
So I'm gonna actually like
You know what?
use it.
Screw this. Make a performance check.
Oh, okay.
If you're
that's
gonna
not bad,
throw
that's
that
not
many
bad.
questions on me, make a performance check. This is gonna
That's
be a
not
check.
bad. That's not bad. It could be worse. Nat 20.
Natural 20.
Damn, you
All right.
performed.
So you pick up the brass bar, you twirl it in your hand, and ding! You see these reverberations in the water. That the source being the actual bell, and then the ship, and it just grows and grows, and it's almost like a pebble being thrown in still water. But you see it reverberate through the ocean, a big ring of force. And you guys are waiting for a second, about 10 seconds. Then about a minute goes by, and then you kind of feel the ship kind of buck to the left and the right, and you guys kind of grab on to the wooden handles. And you noticed when you first saw the ship, it had 4 horizontal pillars. You see a huge tentacle, about 100 foot long, rise out of the ocean, and then wrap itself around one pillar. And then another tentacle wrap itself around another pillar. Another tentacle, until all the pillars have tentacles wrapped around them. Huge, thick tentacles, bigger than a man. And all of a sudden, the ship is now going, I mean, you guys are going, it's almost like you guys are speedboating. And as you are making your way to the front of the ship, all 4 of you, you see a giant squid, a squid known as a kraken, pulling the ship behind it with its tentacles. And you guys you will be there in a week.
Oh wow. So I go.
One, real quick, Delos, you did, I believe you did a detect magic when you first entered the alcove. You detected a source of evil. The evil is still somewhere on the ship. It's not emanating from the ship, but it is something on the ship. You're not sure where. You were gonna say, Cole? I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I would like to approach Lord Balduron and say, excuse me, Lord Balduron, where would the sleeping quarters on this ship be?
So you hear when you say that, he looks at you and you see his partially skeletonized face almost sneer at you, and he goes, and then everybody on the ghostly crew starts laughing.
I just kind of mimic them just nervously.
He's still looking at you and still laughing. You're gonna be the first to die, boy.
But I'd like to get some sleep first.
They laugh even louder.
Thanks for your time. And I walk over to Tara
You hear Shrunken Head say, "What a jackass!"
I look to Barag, I say, one of these days, I'm going to take him from you and destroy him in front of you.
Barag!
Well,
Don't let him do it, Barag!
I won't let him. Trust me, he'll lose a hand.
We've been
before
through
then.
so much together, you and I. I saved your life.
I heard you did.
He lost your armor. What have you done for me lately, Cole?
Absolutely nothing, and it's going to stay that way.
Oh, man.
And I look...
You think you hurt his feelings.
I look over to Tara and I say, I'm going to explore a little bit because I'm getting no help here. And I walk off.
I'm just gonna kind of look at him. You know why they're laughing, right? There's no
'Cause-
such thing as barracks on a pirate ship. You
Where do they sleep?
You sleep wherever the hell you want to sleep. And that means on the wood.
Well, I think I'll find the biggest room here and get some sleep then. And I just wander off to... and I wander off to just anywhere I see like a door leading to any possible passageway or staircase or anything.
So I'm gonna kind of like lean to Barag. We got another pretty boy on our hands, yes?
Aye, indeed we do. And I kind of knew this was coming. He needs to find a room wherever he goes.
Well, you both know that Cole's a city boy. He's been living most of his life in Baldur's Gate. So.
One city boy for another, I guess. We lose one, we gained one.
Yes. Tiring, isn't it?
Just a little. He doesn't like mud.
So what do you guys do?
Well, I'm gonna go exploring, but not for his reasons.
Sure. All right. Why don't
Daedalus is like, we're gonna be snorting with this.
why don't Cole and Daedalus both make an investigation roll, please?
Oh boy.
A 4.
4. You are Daedalus. You're finding mostly human and some half-orc remains below decks. Probably the remains of the crew themselves. The remains of the ghosts that are now serving on the ship. Cole, you do find basically a large hold where everything would be kept, from raids, cannonballs, gunpowder, on a conventional ship. Of course, this is the Watchful Eye. This is not a conventional ship. And you also find the captain's quarters. Both are locked.
Okay. So I'm gonna go to the hold and go to that door, and I don't think I have lock picking
I
tools.
believe you have proficiency in...
Yeah, I don't know if I have the actual tools though.
Did they come in your pack? Your starting pack? I
Because
swear
it's
that
a fighter's pack.
I swear
so-
that you did.
I should have that written down somewhere. Let me see.
Very detailed.
It's whatever the two options are for a fighter.
Okay.
And I don't think
So
that
you
was
don't have a
in-
lockpick set?
I don't think I do.
That's
I have a gambling set. I have.
That's right. You have the gaming
Yeah.
set. That's right. That's right. That's something you may want to talk to Tara about.
Yeah. So I pull my pistol out of the holster for a second, and just put my head down, slightly disappointed with myself, and reholster it and head back up the stairs.
Sure.
Do I see him coming back up
Make a perception
towards
roll.
me? $18.
18. At first, you and Tara are still taken by the fact that you have this immense underwater creature of legend pulling your ship, and you're just watching it go. And then you notice that Daedalus and Cole aren't here, and you do see Cole coming coming back to the deck of the ship.
So I just look at him and be like, "Hey, pretty boy. No luck finding a room, I take it."
I found the rooms, but they're locked. So, as a courtesy to our newly minted captain, I wanted to let her know before I blow the locks off that she may want to attempt to unlock them. I don't want to put holes in the ship.
Yeah, just like you put holes in the bar. Very smart.
I can put holes in the ship. I'm just trying to do a courtesy here. I'm not against putting holes in the ship, but
I don't think,
I think Tara would be.
And then I turn as he says, "I think Tara would be," and I kind of give like almost like a dirty look, but I kind of smirk because I'm like, okay, this is Cole.
In all fairness, Cole.
At least he did.
In all fairness, yeah, Cole 4 weeks ago would have shot.
Yeah.
He would have.
He would have shot it.
Gone
Like,
down there, and like 30 seconds later, you would have just heard boom, boom.
Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly. This is called character development.
Yeah. Of a kind.
Yeah. All right. So what do you do?
So, I turned and looked to Cole. Lead on.
So I lead towards where I found the hold and the captain's room.
So yeah, you basically see the large hold of the ship where all the booty of the crew would be housed, and then you see basically the captain's quarters,
So,
which would now be your quarters.
yeah. So I'm actually gonna open. Is like the storage room right next to the captain?
They're across from each other.
So I'm gonna open like where the storage would be. For...
Okay. So as you approach it, you hear, and it opens for you. As right when you're going for your lockpicking tools, you just approach it and it just opens.
And so I turn to Cole, and I kind of motion like with my hands for him to step through. Au revoir. Your quarters.
So this is which room now?
This is
It's
basically
like the supply room.
the hold of the ship. Yeah.
This is the hold. So I smile and nod, and I walk through and just immediately take a survey of the room.
It's a bit of a mess. It's waterlogged. There are very, very old tools and implements, rusty cutlasses, swords and axes. Nothing much of worth that you can see at first glance.
Okay. So I turn back to Tara and say, well, this will make myself comfortable. If you don't mind, I may do a little bit of digging in here, see what I find.
Like I said, don't break anything and we're okay. Yes?
Sounds good to me. And so I make my way along anywhere I see items stacked or placed.
Yeah, and they're not necessarily stacked or placed. It's very disheveled.
It's all over.
Yeah, it's all over the place. There's no rhyme or reason. It's just, and a lot of the weapons that you see are corroded beyond any sort of rehabilitation. Just busted pieces of axe heads and broken hilts, things like that. Basically a lot of trash.
Okay.
But the ship's been underwater for 1,000 years, so you're not surprised.
Yeah. So I pick the least waterlogged spot I can find, and I lay out my bedroll and just kind of put my pack down and just kind of get ready for sleep.
Okay.
For whenever that comes.
So you lay it down, and your bedroll like floats for a second, and then sinks about an inch.
I just have
And
a
you
soaked
just see
bedroll.
you see it darken with the water, and you're just like,
Good as anything.
all right. What do you do, Ted?
I'm gonna head back up to the deck. And I'm actually gonna go like towards the captain's wheel.
The wheel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is Baldur still there? So, I'm just gonna kind of look like where he's looking like along the ship.
Mm-hmm.
And I take it you've been wanting to go home for what, 1,000 years?
So he looks at you, but he doesn't really regard you too much.
So I kind of look out at the ocean. It's beautiful.
Aye.
Tell me, what did you miss the most while being stuck there?
You're never stuck when you're out on the ocean.
Aye. It's a good answer. So I kind of just smirk and just look out at the ocean. Kind of just take it all in.
Sure. And as you are looking out, he's standing right next to you, and you're both kind of looking at the horizon. It's an odd moment. It's a surreal moment, as the both of you are kind of looking out. I mean, this is not just a pirate. This is the pirate. This is the guy who founded Baldur's Gate, who built it. He's a privateer of story and legend. So it's kind of a surreal moment for you as he's behind the wheel. And you are still moving pretty quick. So what about you guys?
Oh, I'm still underneath. I still want to look around. There's got to be
Sure.
someone aboard this ship.
You do see Cole trying to get comfortable, but just really getting wet. And you just see the captain's quarters.
You said there was like nothing or two.
In the hold, there's nothing.
There's nothing. And I pretty much saw everything else.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'll go into the hold just to find a place just to meditate for a little.
Okay. All right. So you meditate and you regain your spell slots after 4 hours, of course. Barag?
I'm gonna follow where everybody else just went down into the bottom of the ship, and
You see exactly what I explained to Daedalus. You see, but now instead of just a very wet Cole, you see a very wet Daedalus meditating through the salt water, but he's about an inch in.
I just chuckle to myself.
Okay.
These guys, and then I'll look for Tara and see wherever the captain's quarters is.
Do I notice that all of them are gone?
Make a perception roll.
26?
Yeah. You're alone with the ghostly crew on the deck of the Watchful Eye, but none of your group are on the deck.
So I'm gonna kind of
Now, with this crew, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're anywhere safe. It could mean that somebody fell overboard, Barag, or or Daedalus decided to swim because he can in water. You have no idea what they're up to,
So
except for Cole. He's
he's
done.
taking nap time.
Mm-hmm. It's nap time for Cole.
So I'm kind of just gonna sigh to myself and shake my head and look up to the sky. And again, I lose my buffoons, and I just walk down. And I'm actually gonna head down below to where I led Cole before.
Okay, Cole's in.
I just kind of sit up. This isn't gonna work. And I just leave my bedroll laying where it's at. Say, it's captain quarters over there.
Don't even think about it.
I'll maybe just see if they're as waterlogged as this place.
Sure, it is waterlogged.
Well, let's find out.
So I kind of just shrug, and I actually I look across the hall.
You see,
To
you see Barag sitting right in front of the captain's quarters.
And
He looks very impatient.
And what are you doing?
Waiting. Since you lost my armor, I'm waiting.
Me? I didn't lose the armor.
All three of you lost my armor. I don't give a crap no more. Just open the door.
And I'm kind of gonna just raise my hands up. Okay. Just slowly approach the captain's quarters.
Okay.
Still with the hands up, like cautiously around Barag.
As you approach the door unlatches by itself and creaks open, dry as a bone.
And I just grin at her.
Candles are placed. There's fruit. There is carafes of wine and water. There is quiet pirate's melody singing somewhere in the background, but you don't really see anybody playing any sort of instrumentation. I need everybody to make a perception.
Still in meditation.
You're still in meditation.
20.
14.
19.
Easily enough, you guys notice the physical remains of Baldur sitting behind a very large wooden desk, quill, and a little inkwell parchment, and there's a very large chest, and you know that there are specific containers that are just the captain's personal belongings, and nobody ever goes in there. You are now the captain, so the rule of maritime law is that now belongs to you. But the thing that's interesting that you all notice is that you notice a large porthole that you would find in a ship, made of glass, but it's laying on the floor. And as you're looking at the porthole and you're approaching it, you can see the kraken underneath the ship pulling below the ship.
So, are we all in the actual room, or
You're all in the actual room, yes.
Well, I must say, definitely fits. This room is fit for a captain.
And I just point down to that, and I kind of just take one step back and be like, yeah.
It almost looks as if if you open it, the ship will sink. That's what it looks like to you.
I run over to it and I just like kind of get on the floor and like look. What kind of ship is this?
It looks like, why would they build a porthole right in the floor of the captain's quarters? But sure enough, there it is, and you can see right below the ship, right through the ship, and what's underneath it.
That beast is propelling your ship. Does that not bother you at all?
And I shrug. No.
Saw those tentacles and I assumed death.
And you also see a large cage in the corner of the room. It's got a tarp over it. You know, characteristically, what would happen is there would be a ship mascot, usually a bird, and that's probably where they kept it.
So I kind of look at Tara and back around the room. So maybe I could stay
No.
here. And I just kind of look.
So I'm gonna, like, as he looks around, I'm gonna hold a finger up. You can stay in here, but your bedroll is on the floor and you're sleeping on the floor.
I'll do you one better than that. I will sleep on the floor with no bedroll because my bedroll is currently soaked with water in the other room. It is of no use to me now.
So, I turn to Barag. Where's that hide I gave you, the Yeti one?
You're still wearing
I was
it.
about to say, I look down, I'm wearing it, you know, because
So I put my hand
I'm
out.
still in my skivvies.
So I put my hand out.
Yeah, you're still in that sacrificial, like, loincloth.
Yeah.
Yeah. With two swords and the Santa hat.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Kind of just look at her head, I just kind of look at her and just glare.
That's quite all right. I'm sure I'll be fine. I think he may need it more than I do right now. So I just kind of look for a spot on the floor where nobody will trip over me, and I'll just say, "There, that is perfect."
Okay.
Tara, mind if I stay here too? I'll sleep in the closet.
Why is everybody in my quarters?
Oh, your
One night.
Your ship
One
is
night.
kind of soaked through.
Yeah, over
It's
there.
part of being on a ship. You're gonna get wet.
I've been on a ship before, and this is it's nice. Don't get me wrong, but the sleeping quarter situation.
Why
could
don't you
use
go to
some
sleep?
work.
You're talking yourself right out of this room.
All right. So I go over to the spot that I picked out, and I just like lay on my back. Oh yeah, that's a lot better.
Feels
I
good.
just close my eyes.
Really good, yeah.
And I turn to Barag. And you. You can sleep here on the ground.
That's fine, just because last time I remember, I woke up in a river on a bank with no armor.
I get a picture of like Salma Hayek from Dusk Till Dawn, where she goes to George Clooney, and you will be my dog. I will call you Spot. You will be my footstool.
Oh no, I don't want to be a footstool.
You'll be the footstool for my raptor. But
Your raptors. And you do see, a very, not a large, I would say about the size of a banana. But it's a gold, almost like a statue of a fish, also sitting right on the desk.
I'm actually gonna go up to the statue and kind of like examine it
Okay.
and feel around it, see if there's anything interesting like carvings.
No, it's just a gold statue of a fish.
Interesting decor.
And as you're examining it, make an intuition. Not intuition. I'm not playing Marvel. Perception roll. 13. As you've got this gold statue of a fish in your hand and you're looking at it, looks very, very kind of queer to you. It's unusual. About a 3-pound fish comes sliding out of your pocket and falls to the floor.
So I look down and I look at the statue, then I look at the fish again. Guess I found dinner. And so I basically sit and start, filleting the fish.
In the captain's quarters?
Yeah, basically.
Sure. Yeah, let's mess that up. All right, so
Yeah.
so you start filleting this fish. Go ahead and make a sleight of hand check.
Yeah.
See how well this goes.
18.
18. Yeah, it's going very well, and your raptor's kind of looking at it, kind of leering. You see its head moving back and forth, and it kind of looks at you, and then looks at the fish, and then looks at you, and then looks at the fish.
I'm gonna turn to her. I know, Nox. This is for you, dear.
Okay. So you're gonna have to cut it into small little
Yeah.
bits.
Yeah, that's what
Okay.
I'm gonna do.
So is that gonna be it for the evening for you guys?
I'm actually gonna, after I'm done obviously feeding the raptor, I'm gonna go to the chest that it's behind Balduran's
Yeah.
skeleton, I guess you can say. And I'm gonna go for my tools, but I'm first gonna with one hand open it or try to see if it's even locked.
Sure.
You see two things in there. You see a very beautiful, ornate dagger. It looks like it's made from coral. A very, very intricate handle. You see very beautiful glass bottle made of green glass. And you see an amulet.
I'm gonna pick up the amulet and examine it and put it.
Looks like an amulet.
I'm gonna put it in my pack so that then maybe Daedalus can take a look at it.
Sure.
And I'm also gonna take the glass too, and again put it in the
bottle.
The bottle.
Okay.
And again put it aside so maybe Daedalus can take a look at it also. And the dagger, I'm just gonna have like the biggest, cheesiest grin and just whisper to myself, finally. Just because I lost my other dagger.
Yeah. All right. So you guys call it a night?
Yeah.
Okay. So for the sake of brevity, because we're not role playing 4 weeks, or rather a week, unless anybody wants to do anything, the week will go by without incident.
No, just obviously getting the amulet and the glass looked at by Daedalus.
Okay. So this is the. Why don't you go ahead and I'm going to assume that at some point you cast Identify.
Yes.
So this is going to be the amulet. It is the Eye of the Deep. And the glass bottle is called A Message in a Bottle.
That's so cool.
You can read it.
Okay, so the message in a bottle. It's write one question a day with a yes or no answer once per day. Throw the bottle in the ocean, return exactly 24 hours later to the same location, and your question will be answered. And the amulet, the Eye of the Deep, requires attunement. The eye of a lobster-like beholder cousin fitted onto an amulet clearly intended for larger creatures. Once prolonged rest can produce a 30-foot cone from in front. Creatures in the area must DC 17 con check or be stunned for 2d4 rounds.
It's pretty
Wow.
huge.
That is huge.
DC 17 is a pretty high DC
Yeah.
to make.
2d4 rounds, and they don't get any saves.
No, the DC 17 is a save.
That's the
Right, but I
second-
mean like per round.
Yeah, they would get it. They would get a save per
They
round.
would. Okay,
That's awesome. Really, really
that is really
Yeah.
cool.
All right. So, you guys in the horizon see the walled city of Baldur's Gate.
I look over at Cole, I was like, hey, city boy, you're home.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of which, and I open up my pack as I'm digging through it. I say, now that I know I don't need this to bribe my way off the island, and I pull out that crossbow that I had won in that gambling
Belchris,
match from Belchris.
Your dragonborn buddy.
Yeah,
The war
my
mage?
buddy. And I turn to Daedalus and I kind of shove it at him and say, I don't know a whole lot about this, but I think you're going to get more use out of it than me.
Ooh, thank you. And I was like, I'm like lifting it, like looking at
It's
it. and stuff.
not quite my style.
Do you have the description of it?
Yes, I do. There you go.
All right. So you are now the proud owner of the Barrage Soul Render, I believe, right?
Okay, and I'm gonna get to it 2 minutes.
Waste your no time.
I like how he wasted there was no hesitation
Yeah.
in his voice.
It's
Like,
mine
it's
now.
mine. I'm attuning it to me.
All right. So, anything else before you guys make your final approach? This is your last chance.
Besides obviously getting the Eye of the Deep attuned to myself.
How many things do you have attuned to yourself right now?
I don't.
You can have a maximum of 3, and I'm
I
pretty
think
sure you
only-
have more than that.
No, I think I only have
Your
my
dagger.
dagger. That's it.
Your bracers aren't attuned?
I
Did
don't know.
they require attunement?
No, they don't require
Alright,
to.
so then that will be
That would only be my second
2.
item.
Okay.
So I'm gonna do that.
Okay. Anything else anybody wants to do?
I'm gonna look at Tara and just kind of point my thumb at the cage. Do you know what's under the tarp? or
It's been sitting there
cloth
all
thing.
week. Nobody's.
You ever think of looking under that? I'm just here chilling, you know. I don't want to touch it.
Sometimes you gotta
Lose a
really
finger.
force this group.
I didn't want to lose a
Chilling for
finger,
week
but
and
now
he's
I'm
like,
kind of making you.
Why don't you have the honors then?
Ugh.
If you're so curious.
Fine, Captain. And I go over and I start to pull the cloth off of the cage.
So as you pull the cloth off of the cage, you see a very, very healthy, very, very bright-eyed, very small simian, a monkey, with 2 wings jutting out of its shoulder blades, and it looks like it's wearing almost like a pair of overalls. And it's just kind of sitting, eating pellets, looking at you.
You've been here all week and you haven't made a noise.
So
So,
Hi, little monkey thing.
Has someone been feeding him?
and so, as
Where's he
Barag
getting food from?
pulls the sheet and I see the monkey, I'm gonna just like my eyes get big and that is the most cutest. Well, besides you, Nox, that is so cute.
I was about to say, don't you already have a pet?
I can always have room for one more. Maybe,
Dibs.
but it's so cute.
She has pets that aren't even animals.
Yeah.
That
Oh
rock.
yes.
Rocket's been just rolling around.
You got Rocky and you got Nugs. So you want to like add a third to the pop?
You'll get that.
So
You'll
its
get
tiny little hands just has it right on the bar, just kind of staring at you. Its head kind of goes from left to right, left again,
So I put up my finger.
and it just kind of grabs your finger. Tiny little fingers around your big dwarven finger.
I gotta just
You
stare
see
like,
its wings kind of spread out.
Hey, well, and I kind of look around to see if there's anything on the cage, like a lock or anything. So I reach towards wherever the door, like I'm assuming there's a door to this cage.
Yeah.
So I open the door.
Okay. I'll say you can make a nature check, because you're a ranger. You might have a little knowledge of this. If Daedalus, are you here, or no?
Are you in the same room as us?
Yeah,
I think it's
are
in
you
the captain's
quarters with us?
I think so, because he handed me the.
You can make an Arcana check or just a straight identify.
I'm gonna go straight.
Halfling luck for that one.
He's just going to go straight
Oh, okay.
identify. So you are in possession of Nodbee's cage. A small iron cage, 1 cubic feet in interior space, but it is bigger on the inside. Any creature that is small enough to fit within the cage may be stored in the cage. An environment that is most suitable to the creature is created within the cage, allowing the creature to stay inside for as long as the wielder would like. Creatures within the cage do not feel hunger, thirst, age, or suffer from any conditions or bonuses that may be incurred.
Whoa.
But it's a large cage.
That is really, really cool.
So I'm going to. How big would you say? Like,
It's pretty big, probably about 2 feet by 2 feet.
so
And as you stick your head in, it almost becomes a mountainous environment as you stick your head in. It went from just straw with a small tree and vines, and then as you stick your head in, suddenly all of that kind of dissipates, and then you just see kind of a mountainous interior.
I just kind of look over my shoulder. Oh my God, guys, it's huge in here.
Well, let me see. And I kind of shuffle past him and
So
stick my head in.
you stick your head in, and it's almost like you're looking in an alley.
Hey.
Yeah, right? City
I
boy.
could get used to this thing.
I don't think you'll fit in there though. Maybe not.
Where is the monkey? Did the monkey come out of the cage, or is he still in the cage?
I would say the monkey came out of the cage and is just resting on Barag's shoulder, playing with the yeti fur, kind of touching it. The yeti fur. His wings kind of flapping very quickly.
Am I still attuning myself to this?
Yeah, no, you're good. You're
Okay, I'm gonna look in and see what I see.
I don't think all our heads can fit in here.
Yeah, well, right now it's full, but once you wait your turn, you see the Feywild.
Oh.
This is interesting.
This is where you met your patron. And this is the environment most conducive to Daedalus Hartwell.
I just like let out a low whistle and then pull my head back out.
Okay.
I'm just curious, would my raptor fit into that cage?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, I'm actually going to put Nox down and kind of lead her to the cage to see if she'll actually go in.
Make an animal handling check.
Can we put more than one in here or just one creature?
You can do whatever you want.
Oh, okay.
17.
Whether it's going to be a cage match, I don't know, but
Sure.
you can do whatever you want. What is it?
17.
17? Okay, so easily enough, her tail kind of whips around a couple times. You see her kind of because she's never been away from you since she was born. But you manage to get her in the cage, and suddenly the interior becomes the island of Chult. So yeah, she's very comfortable. She's kind of like looking around, and then she sees a small bug kind of scurrying, and you see her get on all fours and just kind of follow it. Her tail kind of up in the air, whipping around, and she's following this bug into a bush.
So, I close the cage and kind of just smile. And I look to Barag with his, I guess it's a monkey, flying
It's
monkey.
a flying monkey.
A flying monkey.
Hi.
I look at Barag and the flying monkey. Suits you. And I walk out.
I gotta just pet him. Like, yep. I understand. I get it. And I kind of just look at her.
I understand. I get it.
Barag way of saying
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
So simple.
Yeah.
No offense to anything.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you're right. I'm
So-
a flying monkey.
Did you take time to attune to it? To your
To
dagger?
I
Asking.
actually didn't get that identified, I don't think.
No, you did not.
I did not get that identified. Honesty is key in role playing, guys. So actually I will try and get that identified by asking Daedalus
Second slot.
for
That's second spell slot if you decided to
identify
this for.
Sure.
Okay. So almost begrudgingly, Daedalus is like, all right.
kind of like,
again.
why guys? Come
You
on.
are in possession of the Akruba dagger. You gain +1 bonus attack and damage made with this magical weapon, Akruba mode. When you attack and hit a creature that is surprised with this dagger, it must make a Constitution save with a DC 18. On a failed save, the target takes an additional 2d4 piercing damage from your attack.
Oh.
So you add that on top of your assassination.
Yes!
Goodness.
Jesus.
Fury
Gonna
mode.
destroy.
Fury mode. As a bonus, the user can cut themselves, dealing 2d4 damage to themselves. The blade will then grow twice its normal size and glow a fiery red and gold. While in this state, the weapon deals 2d4 piercing damage and 2d4 fire damage for the amount of rounds equal to your proficiency level. It is a legendary item.
Yay!
It will change.
Yes. So yeah, I'm gonna most definitely attune myself to this. So that is my max of 3.
Okay. So you guys, as you approach Baldur's Gate, you hear the port bells chime. And off in the distance, you see hundreds of people gathering at the port. The port itself, again, you guys have been gone for about 2 months. The port was completely destroyed when you left. It is only barely at the beginning of rebuilding. There is only one ship in the port, and that ship, it's a foreign ship. It's not native to the Faerun. It's from the far east. And as you approach, hundreds of people are waiting by the shoreline, and they see the watchful eye approaching Baldur's Gate once more, being pulled by a kraken.
Yeah,
So-
let's go.
Put that in your brain for a second. So you guys come to port on the one dock that there is, because there's only one right now. The gangplank goes out, and what do you guys do?
I'm gonna walk down first, and look actually into the crowd.
Everybody is stunned and mystified.
Is it like completely quiet? Like you can hear a pin drop quiet?
Yeah. Essentially, look, the ship itself is encrusted in bone, the exterior of it. It's completely manned by ghosts and apparitions. And there is a kraken. You can understand their trepidation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah.
Do I see the four dukes at all in the crowd?
No. What you see is a lot of the city guard, and you see a lot of privateers and sailors and common folk, town folk, all at the shore. This is only the second, well, as far as you know, this is only the second ship to port since the destruction of the port of Baldur's Gate.
So I'm actually going to walk up to one of the city guards and...
You recognize the city guard. It's Ellis. You've met him before.
Okay. Dallas.
And I need you to deliver a message, dear. If you wouldn't mind.
This is the watchful eye. Yes?
Yes, and I need you to deliver a message.
He's not even paying any regard to you at this point. He's just staring at the Kraken and the watchful eye and the ghosts on that ship, and
So I'm gonna pull
he's got
out
his
like,
he's got his hands on his sword, and he's just staring. And you hear him whisper something to another guard, who goes kind of shuffling off into the crowd.
and I'm gonna whistle and
He knows you're there, but he's in a state of shock.
So I make my way down the gangplank and I kind of look around at the crowd and I say, "We return in peace on the ship belonging to Lord Baldur himself." And I give like a slight bow.
So the second that you say the ship belonging to Lord Baldur himself, the crowd goes hysterical. Like, there's finally like, you've just, it's like saying, "I found Bigfoot, and by the way, we've also found the Loch Ness Monster."
At the same time.
At the same time.
They were hanging out.
Kraken, Baldur. So suddenly people start throwing their hats in the air and cheering and hugging each other. It's a population that has seen a lot of death lately and a lot of destruction of their city for no reason that nobody can really understand. So to see this, you can surmise that some of them see it as an omen, and the fact that one of their own has come off that ship and said, "Oh, by the way, here's Baldur's ship." It's the crowd is now kind of whipped into like not hysterics, but contained jubilation, as people are like clapping each other on the shoulders and just kind of pointing at the ship and the ship's crew, and some people are pointing at the Kraken, and you see somebody pull out a palette of paints, and he's trying to paint the Kraken as quickly as he can, and people are now kind of being whipped into like this controlled frenzy.
While they're distracted, I'm going to run and hide as fast as I can.
Okay, make a stealth
in the
check.
crowd or
Anywhere. I'm in skivvies, remember?
Make a stealth. Well, you have your coat, your Yeti skin coat.
I just kind of cover myself and go to hide.
Sure. Make a stealth check.
Well, I get a +2, it's not bad.
What'd you roll?
5.
5? Alright. You think you're
So I just keep covering myself and just I don't look for anybody I know. I just
Sure.
try to hide.
And as you're trying to hide, you keep bumping people, and you, pardon me, excuse me, sir. Get dressed, son.
Yeah, are we all seeing this? Like him.
Are we all? Yeah.
It's well below your passive perception. You all see him take off. It's almost like he's doing a one-man mosh pit in the middle of the crowd at Baldur's Gate.
I'm gonna whistle.
So you now you start hearing whistles. Woo!
Oh no!
You start getting the cat calls.
What am I closest to right now at the moment?
Hey Granger, let's make it rain on the dwarf. They start throwing copper at you.
I just start picking up all the copper.
Yeah, that's fair.
You want
I
that
just
money?
start scooping.
Add 15 copper to your inventory.
Easiest money I've ever made.
Sure.
So once the crowd volume dies down a little bit, I say, now I need stick up 2 fingers, able bodies to help me carry a very heavy barrel to the Clamhammer, and the rest of you can come and have drinks. First round is on the house.
So
Let's celebrate.
Yeah!
And we
Around,
changed the sheets.
people running to the gangplank. Let's get it! Let's get it!
And I like try to like block a couple of them.
Sure.
And then I just kind of give up and make my way towards the Clamhammer.
You see, basically, these 255-gallon barrels of gunpowder are essentially crowd surfing to the Clamhammer.
And I just kind of follow behind.
Yeah, it's like a Pearl Jam concert in 1992.
Nice.
So you start following the barrels. Barag is very stealthy with a winged monkey on his shoulder and a diaper. So, Daedalus, what do you do?
Well, I'm just like, I'm just still up there. I'm just staring at the amusement of all this. But I'm gonna proceed to walk down the gangplank and kind of follow the crowd all the way to the Clamhammer.
Okay. It seems like a parade. Now, I mean,
That's why I'm gonna try and be a little bit behind them and maybe
Sure.
a little off to the side of where they are.
Sure.
So I'm just kind of walking, not surrounded by boatloads of people.
Sure. Tara?
I'm standing next to the guard still, right? And watching this all happen? Or is he gone with the crowd?
He's gone with the crowd.
Oh, well, so much for that. I guess that tiefling has a way with words, and I kind of just smile and walk back to the ship.
This is a city.
And I see that basically all 3 of them are gone, probably heading to the Clamhammer. My buffoons. And I walk back onto the ship.
Okay.
And I actually head to the captain's quarters.
Okay.
And I'm going to pull out, I think it's part of my pack. I think I have like a journal of sorts that I have like with maps and stuff like that too. I'm actually going to write a basic gist of what happened.
Okay. All right. So it'll take you a long time. I mean, what happened from the time you got to Chult?
Well,
Because that's going to be like some fucking, Frodo Baggins and Bilbo Baggins shit,
I'm going to actually just write the reaction of Baldur's Gate as
sure.
something to remember by.
Okay, gotcha. So it's kind of like, dear journal, dear diary.
Yeah.
We got back to Baldur's Gate. He said he loved me. It was untrue. All right, so
And the dwarf ran off half naked.
yeah, as they're partial to do. All right, so okay, it'll take you as long, or I mean, you could sum it up in a sentence, or you could sum it up in 10 pages.
I'll basically sum it up in a page and just write at the end.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna write at the end. And we finally made it home.
Okay.
And close it up, and I'm actually gonna try to get Nox out of her cage,
Okay.
so that then she can get used to the environment.
Sure.
Of,
Make an animal handling check.
I laugh. I have a proficiency in it. 17.
17.
I was laughing at the scoop.
Easily enough. So you grab you grab Nox, and you get a couple of scratches here and there, but doesn't draw blood. Kind of like a kitten. You know how they have those scratches that you can really feel, but they don't get too deep. But you manage to calm her and kind of envelop her, and she's her head is just poking out from underneath your cloak.
Aww.
And she's kind of looking.
So, I go to walk out onto the deck and again just kind of marvel.
You see the gallows still with her crew tied. The ghostly crew still kind of keeping an eye on her.
So, I turn to her and I actually reach for my water skin and walk up to her and start to like uncork the water skin.
Okay.
And I pass it to her.
Okay.
You gonna let me offer you a drink? Or are you gonna just spit it in my face?
As long as you take this fucking shrunken head off my neck. He's insulted me for a week.
Well, boy, you want off this gal here?
Yes, please. She smells like fish oil.
So I take the shrunken head off and I tie him on the outside of my pack.
Ah, it's good to be home. Baldur's Gate, 7:45 a.m.
It's better than being inside the pack, yes?
Yes, Tara.
Remind me, I gotta brush your hair. It's all oily.
Oh, that's right. Brush me so I can look pretty again. See, Barag always kept me dirty. I feel I can get some of that Port City nookie if I have a real nice hairstyle.
Maybe we can get a bow in that hair of yours, yes?
Yes! Let's go whoring!
I second that.
Yes! Finally! 7:46 a.m.
So, I turn to Gallows and kind of snicker to myself and I give her water.
So she takes it. She's staring daggers at you the whole time now.
About how much is left?
As much as you want to give her.
A little bit.
Okay.
Just enough to,
To hydrate her.
yeah.
Okay.
And so I go to the next crew member.
Okay.
I go to
So you just
give them
give
each
them all.
water.
Okay.
And I look at her. Is it sad that I still have hope in you?
It is. I will kill you.
Why?
I give you that. That is a pirate's promise. I will find you, Tara. And I will burn everything that you love. The way you burned me.
With what? What did I do that was so horrible?
You betrayed me, Tara. You betrayed your comrade.
By doing what?
We were partners. And not just business partners.
You started doing things that were not only unethical to us.
There is no ethics.
There is.
Not on the sea.
On-
Oh, but you're right. There is. And you broke our one rule of parlay. Don't worry. Everyone will hear of it. There's only one way to prevent that from happening, Tara Highhill.
You're right. But I'm not gonna stoop to your level. And then I'm just gonna...
So you see, you just see this anger just kind of scroll across her face the second that you say, I'm not gonna stoop to your level. She says, so you think you're better than me, bitch?
No. I know I'm better than you. And I'm just gonna walk away.
So as soon as you walk away, she is cursing. I mean, she is cursing your mother, your father. She is in a pure fever pitch. She's just, come back here, you effing bitch. And she's just screaming. It's almost scary. It's like it's almost like seeing somebody go crazy for the first time. And you know they've just gone crazy, like completely out of their mind. You've just snapped her. Like, in your mind, you look at it and you're like, fuck, I just broke her just now.
So, as she's cursing, I'm just gonna kind of chuckle to myself and pet Nox's head and look around to see if there's any guards off on the port.
Yeah, oh yeah, there are.
So I'm gonna go up to the closest one.
Alice is up there, so he's like, I don't think you have a permit from the harbor master
So I'm just
for
gonna.
your kraken.
So I'm gonna laugh, like a belly laugh, like hysterically laughing.
So he's like, I'll let this pass. Move along.
I'm gonna look to him. Is there any way we can get a message out?
What message do you want to get? I don't understand.
If I were to write something down.
To who? We're not a messenger service. We're a city guard.
And so I kind of sigh to myself. To the 4 Dukes, dear. This is kind of important.
I can
news.
give it to my captain.
And so,
I'm sure if I tell him there is the watchful eye and a kraken in port, that will kind of put you in the top of the queue for your correspondence.
and so, then please do that.
What is this message?
Well, what you just said.
What did I just say?
Ugh. So I kind of sigh. And is there like a barrel of sorts, like close by?
More toward. I mean, there is no. I mean, there's one dock.
Yeah.
So more toward off the dock.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm actually going to go towards the barrel and write on a paper, Kraken plus watchful eye equals Tara needs to talk to you. / Valor's ransom.
Okay.
Sign Tara Highhill,
Okay.
captain of the watchful eye.
Okay.
And
That was a very well thought out correspondence.
oh yeah,
It wasn't even in
So
sense.
much detail. All right.
yeah.
So.
I'm trying to get this in a rush, okay?
Sure, sure.
And just,
I need to talk to people.
So, do you have a parchment and a quill in your backpack? Probably not.
Probably not a quill, but I do have parchment. But not a quill. No? No, I do, because I had it with my navigator's
Oh,
pack.
okay, yeah. Well said. All right, so you scroll out this note and you give it to Ellis.
Yep.
I'll get right on this. This thing is not going to eat anybody in this port.
And I kind of look over.
We're just going to close the beach from now, I say. It's probably, right? I mean, advisable, you would say? Hey, you! Painting! Get out of here! So he told him to leave. And the guy's like, but there's a kraken. I would love to paint the kraken. So they start arguing. So what do?
I'm gonna
Follow the crowd?
follow the crowd.
All right. Crowd goes to the Clamhammer guy.
Oh my god. What happened?
It is. It's a mirror, a disco ball. No, I'm kidding.
Maybe.
Maybe.
No, it is.
Follow the light spell.
You actually see the door that you had destroyed, and then purchased and never repaired, has been completely repaired.
Hey, those
The
guys.
doors themselves look very ornate, very fine craftsmanship, and in fact, you see that there's been improvements in everything within in the exterior of the Clamhammer, from the grimy windows to even just the boards just outside that kind of make the walkway have all been replaced with fresh wood. And you even get that fresh wood smell kind of mixed with the sea salt. It's kind of a nice smell. And as you walk in, it is not the vomit-stained floor that you remember oh so well. It's cleaned up quite a bit. It's a very dark, rich wood. All the furniture looks brand new. And you do see that your dwarven bartender, Greer Nordsock, behind the bar. And he's just kind of wiping down the bar, and he kind of looks at you walk in, and his eyes get big. Holy shit! You guys made it! You're back!
Somehow we made it back. And I walk up to the bar and...
So he goes up to you and he gives you a big dwarven hug. He goes, I've been waiting for you for so long, Cole!
This place looks great. You went above and beyond.
Still not letting go.
And so I just give him a pat on the shoulder and start to like...
Oh,
yeah.
I've been waiting for this for such a long time.
I have something for you.
Yeah, let me just enjoy this for a second.
Yeah, well, you know, we hit a point.
So, do you like it?
Turns here, right?
Do you like it?
The place? Yeah.
I missed
I
you.
love it.
Yes.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. Oh my God, you feel so toned.
And so I kind of like I pull away and I say wait.
Oh no, not yet. Make a strength check. Tested.
Oh my god. Oh shit.
4.
You're not going anywhere. You rolled an 18.
So I
So essentially, you're kind of being crushed in this dwarven grip.
like, oh, my old buddy,
Oh,
and I
yeah.
just punch him under the ribs.
Yeah. Oh, you smell like vanilla. Oh, I love it. Oh. So he finally releases his grip. How do you like it?
It's fantastic. This is much closer to what I had in mind and what this place was looking like.
A little bit more classy. The rules still apply.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Now we have an enormous crowd outside. I promised them all first round on the house.
As you look around the Clamhammer, you see these large barrels, about 3 high, stacked on each other on these beautiful wooden racks, and they're different types of ale. Make an intelligence check.
8.
You can only tell that they're different types of ale, but you don't know where they hail from,
Okay.
where they originate from. But it's a very large selection now of all these it looks like a much higher class of beverage now available. And you can kind of surmise that he's probably networked and made deals to get, special spirits and things like that weren't really available before.
Ooh, cool. So I give him enough money for the business to cover the first round for everybody, and then I give him 10 gold. Say, this is for your hard work. This is amazing.
Well, you're gonna like this even more. After everything is bought and paid for, you've got about 556 gold. That's just you being the owner of the Clamhammer while you were gone.
Okay.
Yeah, it cost a lot to get,
Sure.
I had to cut deals for,
Sure.
elven ale, dwarven spirits, things like that. There's even, some kind of orc beverage that kind of smells. You got to keep it in special barrels, otherwise it kind of seeps out. Yeah, we've got all kinds of things going on. Everything's been replaced or rehabbed. So yeah,
Looks great.
yeah,
Looks great.
we do very, very, very well. I mean, obviously not as well as we should with no ships coming in, but
Well,
we'll be ready, I suppose.
yeah, hoping that's going to change now that we're back. And
It's so good to see you!
yeah,
And he just
and
hugs you
I try to
again.
dodge.
Make a modify 20. What's your armor class?
16.
You're considered grappled.
Okay.
Oh.
So can I make an attempt to just get loose?
You can make an escape.
Escape.
So it'd be a contested athletic check.
Okay.
So he sits there for the first round, 6 seconds, just hugging you. Oh, it's so good to see you.
Okay. Oh yeah,
You're
it's
the
great.
best boss ever.
You covered this part, I think, but
Got this swimmer's body. It's crazy.
nice. Not much of a swimmer, but
Oh, couldn't tell.
forget about it.
What'd you roll?
So athletics would be 9.
4.
Oh!
So you managed to kind of, all right. Calm down. Because boss, we've got a couple new hires. Nice orc fella. Actually half orc.
Okay.
He's got this weird thing with his arm, you know? Not much of a fighter, but big as hell, friendly as hell.
Okay.
Got another little lass, Kinku. She makes sure that there's no funny business going on within the confines of the bar. Also, figure with you being a bounty hunter and all, she could probably keep her ears to any news that you might find interesting in your line of work. She's very, very good at what she does.
Sounds good to me. I'd like this place to be both a legitimate business and maybe a hub for some of my personal operations.
Well,
So, your forethought has served us all very well. I appreciate it.
no problem.
And
It's crazy because anything that she hears, she retains, and she repeats it exactly in the same tone. It is unbelievable. So when she's out in the street gathering intelligence, she can come back and literally tell you exactly what was said in that same tone of voice.
that could come in
It is-
handy.
It is I've never seen anything like this. These Kinku men are crazy.
What that tells me is that I need to be careful what I say around her.
She'll retain it.
Good to know.
However, she is trustworthy. She's trying to find out any information that she can about the guild. That's her primary course of action. She finds out a lot of information going through the bars.
Well, that is exactly what I'm trying to do.
Yeah. She's been hanging out at the Cloak and Stagger for quite some time.
What, these two new employees, what are their names?
Bale is the orc.
Bale. Okay.
And Sarah is the Kinku lass.
Okay. Sounds good. Now, I think it's time to let these folks in, have their drinks, and
Let's do
and
it!
some more. And so I step out and I open the door and just give a slight bow, and
People start coming in. Your barrels come in.
the folks who have the barrels, I guide them to the room where Ellis used to stay.
Yes.
That I had that encounter with him in, and I say, if you could just place those in there, please, and give them a nod, and then the folks that are actually carrying the barrels in, I toss them a couple silver each.
Sure. And as you are kind of directing them where to put the barrels, make anybody who's in this crowd make an intelligence check. Barag, Daedalus, Tara.
Just cannot win with these dice.
Intelligence,
16.
you said?
Yeah.
7.
17.
17. You see a couple of familiar people. Whoever made it over 10. Who made it over 10?
I did not.
You did not. Okay, so you actually see the dwarf that you saw at the dance.
Oh,
Yeah.
snap.
And Boris Ironhammer.
Yeah.
And his daughter, Wysana Ironhammer. They walk into the Clamhammer in full armor. And you also see a druid being followed by a bunch of little animals. And he's actually being followed by a very large bugbear in a very ill-fitting suit and a suitcase. And you see Graf, the druid from the Bugbear Bank of Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
And you hear him talking about IRAs to somebody, some one-toothed sailor. You really should, think about investing. And the bugbear was like, so they're trying to talk to him into investing, And the crowd starts streaming in, and you do see, and Boris Ironhammer kind of waves you over.
Ah, my good friend, how you been?
Just trying to stay off the radar of the guild.
Aye, well, we have some interesting developments in that.
Yeah. Make an intelligence check. Make an insight check. DC is 12.
Natural 15.
Natural 15. He's extremely nervous. You've met him. He's a military commander. They're very, very cool under pressure, especially dwarven military commanders. They don't get rattled very much, so it's unusual. You see Wysana kind of behind him, and she kind of just has her hand rested on the hilt of her sword, and she just kind of peels off to get herself a drink at the bar. So he's, I'm glad to see you back, Barag.
Glad to be seen, well, in better circumstances. And I look down.
That is a winged monkey on your shoulder.
Oh, yeah, that. Yeah,
You
Kind
are
of
well
just
traveled,
thinking
Barag, I'll tell you.
Aye, and without armor.
Yeah,
That was interesting.
yeah, or
Very
close.
much so. Yeah, close.
But,
You can thank my group for that.
yeah, you're a good dwarf. You still got your sword, so that's all that counts, right?
Aye, as long as I have my weapons.
Right.
But,
So the flying monkey's just kind of like pulling on your earlobe incessantly.
yeah. What do you want? What do you need? I kind of look up
He's
at
just
him.
kind of cooing into your ear and pulling your earlobe.
I kind of just pet him and just pull a little food out of my pack and kind of give it to him.
Sure. He just takes it with one hand. He's just chewing on it and just kind of looking around.
I still have to come up with a name for you, but we'll deal with that later. I kind of look back at the dwarf in front of me and I
And Boris?
embarrassed, and I kind of ask him, what's got you shaking, my friend?
You know, when we met at the party for the Four Dukes, you know, my primary concern was the Dwarven Civil War and the fact that the guild had sown some sort of discontent within the clans.
Aye.
Can we take a seat? I didn't tell you everything, and I have to.
Well, I guess I probably need to sit down for this. So I go to take a seat and I order up a cup of water for myself and an ale for him.
Okay. So he kind of looks at you for a second. He looks at your water and he's like, "That's a development."
Aye, and I pull out my holy symbol and I kind of just clutch it. Like you said, well traveled.
Not more than, huh? No.
I have to find my new way.
So
Unfortunately.
I came because of the guild, of course. That is true. But I came to correct a mistake. At the time, it was the right thing to do, Barag. But as I get older, and this whole thing happening up north, so he kind of takes a really, really big swig of his ale, and you can see him really fidgeting. So, I guess I should tell you a little bit about myself, the Ironhammer clan. It's important that you know this.
Indulge me.
We are an important clan.
Aye.
We are close to the throne. The current king has no son, no daughter, no sire to speak of. If he were to die, and he's old, the throne would fall to House Ironhammer. So he takes another swig, and you see him just kind of tapping his fingers on the table, and he's tapping them hard, and he kind of catches himself and grabs his one hand with the other to make himself stop. And through the corner of his eye, you see Wysana just kind of looking on from a distance. And he just runs his fingers through his red hair and strokes his beard. I had to do something to protect somebody. You understand?
I understand protecting someone you probably care about, but depends on what's the consequences were.
Indeed. Well, I had a son at one point in time. That son would have had a legitimate claim to the throne. However, our current king has never sired a child. He did not want to give the throne up.
Oh,
Threatened any male Iron Hammer that came after me. I had to hide him. I hid him with another clan. So he takes another big swig. Not an allied clan. If I were to hide him with an allied clan, it would be suspicious. But nobody would ever think that I would hide my own son with Clan Drac.
Clan Drac. And how come
So
I
he
didn't
just-
know about this sooner?
He stops as soon as he says it. And it almost is like he can't even believe he just said what he said. And you just see a tear roll out of the corner of his eye.
And do you have any whereabouts or know of his whereabouts at the moment? 'Cause obviously.
Yes, I've tracked him. I've heard he was in Baldur's Gate.
Interesting. There's not many dwarves around here.
So he starts crying. And he says, even at a distance, I did my best to protect him. You understand? I made sure that he went to the best military schools. House Drac isn't they're a modest house. Unusual that somebody from such a common house would reach such a high military rank. But I made sure I could provide for him, even in the limited basis that I could, even from a distance.
Interesting. So anything else I need to know about this individual?
So he takes another big swig of ale. I just want him to know, and I just want him to know that I love him, and I still looked out for him, still to this very day. Otherwise I wouldn't be here.
Aye.
Or his sister.
Interesting. And should I ever meet him, I guess I'll let him know. Unless you want anything else, information to give me, or
I think he knows what he needs to know.
aye.
I understand that he's grown his whole life to know his mother as his mother and his father as his father. It's a difficult position to be in. And if he were to want to keep things as they are, I would not blame him. But his people are in danger. A successor to the throne is necessary, Barag. Should you tell him?
I'll keep that in mind, but I think that that individual would rather know who his real father is.
So he takes another sip of his ale. And he says, I think he does.
Very much so. If this is what he needs to know, I think to do what he needs to do for the kingdom. And I have to leave you at that note. I have some business to attend to myself, actually. But enjoy an ale on me, another ale on me, okay? And I just put a gold piece on the table.
So you see his bottom lip kind of almost quivering. And he says, you're a good Iron Hammer boy.
I guess I have to go solve some problems in the north. after this.
You don't owe us anything, Barag.
I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for, well, Valor. I wouldn't be who I am, so I owe it to the kingdom.
Indeed.
And then I'm just gonna leave the gold piece on there and kind of just walk up to him and stand him up and just give him a hug.
He hugs you tight, and his face kind of like sinks into your chest, and you can feel the warmth of his tears, and he just kind of like almost crumples in your grip. You could tell that he's kind of suffered for a long time, and through the corner of your eye, you see Lysana, and she's kind of like wiping a tear from her eye, and just kind of turns around back to the bar.
And I'm just gonna make note of that and kind of nod my head to her as she turns away.
Sure.
And gonna kind of release him, and I'll see you around then.
So he kind of just like, yeah, I'll see you around.
Stay strong, and make sure I see you up there in the north, hopefully.
Mm.
And I'm actually going to make a stealth check to walk out of the Clamhammer unnoticed.
Okay. Okay. So you kind of worm your way through the crowd.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to actually make my way back towards the dock where the watchful eye is.
Okay.
Do I see him leaving?
Let's do one thing at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Daedalus, I need you to make a perception check. Perception roll, please. 18. You see a funny little gnome walk in. Very, very old gnome. He's got a really, really big wooden pack on his back, and he's walking in with almost like this canine made of gears and sprockets, kind of an ancient robotic technology. And he walks in. He's got a very big package with him. So immediately he sees you. And the package says Daedalus Hartwell on it. And it says Omnium Continuum. It's got kind of like their brand logo, Omnium Continuum, and it has your name on it. And he says,
Daedalus, I have a package for you.
Ooh, for me?
Yes. Why don't you open it?
Okay, so I take it from him, I put it down from me, and I open it up.
it's a chimera leather armor. The chimera leather is basically, it's kind of segmented, and it's draped over panels, and it almost mimics the musculature of a human. And it's got the spines coming out of the shoulders, yeah, it's the chimera armor that you had made.
Okay, wow, this is amazing. I take out a couple gold pieces and I toss it to the gnome.
Ah, thank you, my friends.
No problem. Thank you for delivering it. This is amazing. You guys do really, really good work.
Oh, of course. My brothers make amazing magical crafts. You ought to stop by my shop sometime, though. I'm sure you'll be very impressed.
I will make note of that if we can get back in there.
You know the merchant quarter is very, very exclusive.
Yes.
You almost have to have an invitation to get, especially to the Omnium, anywhere near the Omnium Continuum.
Fair.
So.
Oh, and hey, first drink's on the house, so if you want to grab one.
Well, I don't mind if I do.
All right. So, Cole, what are you doing?
I'm sitting at the bar and kind of keeping an eye on things, not getting too drunk, but having some drinks and just trying to meet some of the locals and at one point I want to go to my room where the barrels were placed.
Sure.
and I want to make sure that it has a secure lock on it.
Sure.
And if it does have a lock on it, I want to test it a little bit and make sure that it's a secure room and that I have the key to it.
Okay. Make a perception roll.
25.
25. Wow, that's a really high perception roll.
Yeah, 9 modifiers.
Yeah, you see into the future. All right, so you as you walk into the room is not used very often, if at all, and your barrels are there and they're secure, but you see on the actual the floorboards kind of like scrape marks, as if something had been sliding back and forth, and it's just in this one like 2-foot section of floor.
Is there anything in the room that looks like it may have made those marks?
I would say with a perception roll that high, that looks like it's probably a hidden panel from the previous owner.
Okay.
And there's hardly been, because this is kind of the private quarters, this has gone untouched.
Okay.
The exterior of the Clamhammer and the bar proper has been gone through extensive renovation. But this particular room has remained untouched since you left.
Okay. And this, so what I'm looking at, I discern is a panel of some kind? Okay.
It's a removable panel.
Okay. So I go ahead and kind of take a look around it and just lift it up.
Okay. You lift it up and it's stone stairs going below the bar. It smells like rotting meat the second that you peer down in there. You swear that you hear movement of some sort. You don't know what it is, and you just feel chills coming from down there.
Alright. So I
Unusually, it's warm though. It's warm, but you still get this chill going right through your body.
Okay. So I just kind of poke my head in and try to use my dark vision.
You've got your dark vision. As you poke your head in, you do see that there's old, bloody smear marks going down the wall, as if people were being at one point dragged down in here. Some look fresher.
So I leave the panel where it's at and I step out of the room for a moment and I look around for Tara and see if I can find her.
Tara.
First, did I see?
Well, you were going back to the bar, were you not?
Yes, I was
Okay.
heading from the dock to the bar.
Okay. So with that amazing stealth check, why don't you roll a perception roll against Barag's, what is it, 14 stealth check?
Well, I'll be damned. 12.
You got right past you. You got right past you.
Struggle.
And as you go into the bar, the Clamhammer, you don't see Barag. You see Daedalus talking to a gnome, and this gnome has this dog, probably the size of what a 40-pound dog would be, but it's made of gears and sprockets. It's made of copper and brass, and you see coils, and you see little bits of steam. Unusual. I will say, because you are a pirate, make her intelligence check.
19.
19. In Waterdeep, there is a day called the Day of Wonders. And on the Day of Wonders, there are all sorts of inventors that come from all over that show these kind of automatons, these mechanical marvels, and they actually have a parade. There was one inventor that created a flying chair, and that chair flew and it never stopped flying, and he had to be rescued by the Griffin Crusaders. And the chair kept going up even after they rescued him. They never found the chair after that. But yeah, so it looks like it would be something that would be in this Parade of Wonders parade in Waterdeep. It's very, very unusual. But gnomes are known to tinker with little automaton toys and things like that.
So I'm kind of just gonna look at Daedalus and look at the gnome.
He's got this amazing like chimera leather armor.
And I'm just gonna go, guess you meet interesting people every day.
So you see a halfling with a little raptor kind of sticking out from her cape.
What have we here? I'm gonna just kind of like poke my finger at the raptor.
So it just kind of like nips at you.
Ooh, feisty one. Those are always fun.
So I'm gonna pet Nox on top of her head. Yes, she's a week old.
I've always wanted to get that feistiness in my creations. It's just so hard to mimic artificially.
Oh, well, you can't really, I guess, mimic a personality. So I'm gonna keep petting her and kind of like, now I'm getting, like, holding her a little closer.
Sure. Make a perception roll. And Cole, you make perception roll too.
19.
19.
14.
14. Easily enough. Both of you, as you're kind of engaging in the social activities that you normally would, you're talking to this gnomish fellow, and you can't help but draw you. This guy's kind of automaton dog can't help but draw your attention. Cole, you come out, and the second that you see this, the tinkerer brain in your brain goes, holy shit, that's like my gun, but better. How did he make that? How does that happen? And like the tinkerer part of you, like mechanically, you want to know how that happens.
Yeah.
Like your tinkerer brain is like, I bet you I can do that. And then so you start like automatically thinking. But as you come out of the room, both of you hear just little bits of tavern talk as people are drinking, talking about this is nice. There is hope. People have been disappearing. We don't know where. Marcia left, and I'm still looking for her. And I hope Valor's Ransom can help. And Valor's Ransom is back, so maybe this will all go away. And so you hear little rumblings of there is something else going on other than just the guild. So that's kind of the vibe that you get. I mean, obviously, there's great relief that you guys are back, but there's also an underlying current of something dangerous is happening.
So I'd like to, as I search for Tara, I'd like to make my way towards the bar area.
Sure. You see Greer, he's just pouring drinks. You see stacks of coin on the table. He's putting them into the coin bucket, filling up glasses.
Greer.
Boss.
I kind of lean on the bar. What's this I'm hearing about people disappearing? You know anything about that?
Yeah, there was some cultists here.
Were they here?
Yeah, well, yeah. Part of the reason why this place was restored is because they smashed the Clamhammer. So I had to get a lot of this stuff fixed.
Did they now?
Yeah.
You know anything about them? Where they're from? Who leads them?
They're new. That's all I know.
Okay.
If I had seen them, I'd probably be dead, that's for sure.
I think maybe they have something to do with all this disappearing.
That's quite possible. It can't be a coincidence, I don't think.
Well, they smashed up my bar, so
Kill him!
we're gonna... I just kind of grin at him. Yeah, I think that might happen.
Yeah. Let's kill him.
And if we can...
I'll
get
serve
some-
the drinks.
All right. And if we can get to the bottom of these disappearances in the process,
A lot of good folk, common folk, hardworking.
that's what I'm hearing. Yeah, that's not good for anybody. Well, maybe we get to the bottom of that. And
I'm glad you're back, boss.
I'm glad too. And I want to search for Tara, but I want to search for everybody, kind of just the group.
You've seen her. You've seen her
Okay.
talking to the gnome with the dog, and Daedalus is holding up this leather chimera armor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you see most of your group.
So I approach them.
Okay.
It's going to be these Tara and Daedalus.
And the gnomish fellow who never introduced himself.
Nope, never dropped my name.
Oh, hey, Tara, I could use your assistance with something. And I look over. I don't believe we've met. Cole Ravencrest.
Oh, yes. Twinge Tinkertop.
Twinge Tinkertop.
It's good to meet
Give
you,
him a
my
shake.
friend.
You as well. Did you get your free drink on the house?
No, I haven't yet. I should go do that.
When you look at him, you can automatically tell he is from the merchant quarter. It's unusual to see somebody from the merchant quarter on the lower side of Baldur's Gate.
Well, you're welcome here anytime. It looks like you're mechanically inclined, like myself.
Yes, I am. I used to dabble in magic, but that's just not the thing for me anymore.
Yeah, I can't say I have any experience in that realm, but these get me by, and I present my 2 pistols to him.
Do you mind if I...
Ah, not at all. This one is broken. This one is not.
I'm gonna take a look at the broken one.
Mm-hmm.
Am I able to tell what's wrong with it?
Make a perception.
Just-
Make an intelligence check.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna smash that. I now won!
Halfling luck.
Oh, she's got halfling luck.
Yes! You're a sham.
In Xanathar's, there's a special feat that she can actually impart her luck to somebody
You are a great
within
person.
30 feet.
That wasn't much better, but it's plus 16, 17?
17 total?
Yeah.
It's relatively simple in design. It's part engineering, very mechanical in nature, part alchemy, kind of right up your alley.
Yeah.
You're looking at it and automatically, it's almost like when you see this physical object, your brain processes it like a blueprint, and automatically comes apart, and your brain is seeing all the little parts and how they kind of interact with each other.
Mhm.
And you're like, okay, I can kind of improve this, and I can put steam here, and I can do this, and
Yeah.
I can do that, and like, it wouldn't be an issue.
If you give me the opportunity to get this back to my shop with my tools, I could probably improve this pretty significantly.
That sounds fantastic.
Normally, it would take half the cost to
Right.
repair a completely broken. If he's doing it, that would cut that cost in half.
Okay. And the 556 gold you mentioned earlier, is that what I owe for the renovation?
No, that's not what you owe.
Okay.
That's
That's
your
what you
profit.
That's my profit. Okay.
That's after everything's been paid for.
okay.
That's money that you pocket. That's after Greer's been paid, after the construction has been paid, the laborers, all of that.
Okay, got it. So it would cost half of...
Oh, so it would cost a fourth. So normally it would cost half. It's half of half.
Got it.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that sounds fantastic. The thing's useless to me as it stands. So
Yo, it's perfect. I'll get it back in my shop right away. Mind if I take a look at the other one?
no, not at all.
There you go.
This one is a little different. There's a spark of magic in it. And you as soon as you grab it, you can almost feel it. It almost vibrates in your hand.
Because this one, I'm not really sure what I could do with. Perhaps I'll just work on the one for now.
Sounds good to me. And I hand over 50 gold to him and hope that will cover the cost, but if not, let me know.
Of course, I'll get back to you with a more official number.
For
when I
another
figure
50
out.
gold, you could probably throw something pretty sweet in there.
I go, if you're willing to pay a little bit more, perhaps I could put a little extra in the gun.
Sure, while we're at it. And I give him the other 50 gold.
So take 100 gold
Yes.
out of your inventory. So you've got 100 gold for yourself. 50 is pure profit. 50 is to do with what you will to the gun.
Okay.
Now, without getting into too much detail, we've had some trouble making it into the merchant quarter in the past. Is that where your shop's at?
Yes. Of course, I do deliver, as you saw.
Yeah.
But I'm sure I can pull some strings and get you guys in when I need to meet with you.
Sounds good. Either way, like I said, you're welcome here anytime. My private quarters are over there, and if you need to, just knock on the door, and
Of course.
we'll sort everything.
I really
out.
need to get down here more often.
So as soon as you say that, you see Tiko kind of like his head kind of lowers a little bit, and if a mechanical dog could growl, it would growl, but it almost just sounds like grinding
Yeah.
metal. And his head is really low to the ground. At the same time, her head goes left, right, and then kind of ducks right into your cape, completely hidden.
So I look at her and I look at
She's
the.
trembling a little bit.
So again, I very motherly. I kind of like hold her really close and kind of put my hand on her to kind of reassure her that everything's okay.
Do I perceive that?
Yeah. It's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
The animals are kind of having some sort of reaction.
I'm gonna go down to the dog and just go, "What's going on, boy?"
So his head is just again lowered to the floor. He's just looking to the left, looking to the right, and then he just kind of looks at you, head kind of cocked a little bit.
Well, you see, speaking of my private quarters, that's why I came over to talk originally. I found a small removable door, and there's a staircase that leads down. I wasn't able to see into the room completely, but there's something down there, and it's not nice. There was blood on the walls, and
All right. Why don't we keep it down and why don't you show us data list? Want to tag along in case.
I was like, okay, sure, and I keep it kind of to where I know what else in here.
Sure. So you guys get to the room, and you see that panel, and you pop the panel open again. The four of you are there, and now when you pop the panel, you still get that heat, but still that cold just running down your body. But this time you smell like it's almost sulfur. This very heavy sulfur smell almost hits you right in your face. It almost reminds you, Terra and Daedalus, of when you fought that ancient red dragon, how you had that sulfurous smell hit you. It's a lot of that.
well, anybody care to join me?
Anybody have religion as a proficiency? No?
Nope.
No? Okay. Right, 1 second. Barag, so you are at the port. You've just had this bomb drop on you.
So I'm near the watchful eye, right? I can see
Yeah.
it.
Mhm.
So, and the guards, have they gone on board or anything?
They have, as you approach, you see the guards taking each one of Gefelda's crew off the gangplank, Gefelda being the very last one.
And do I see her coming off?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna walk up to, if there's a guard like near her or anything, or taking her, I'm just gonna look at the guard and say, hey lad, I got this one. Let me handle her.
I've been instructed to bring her. She's a lieutenant of the guild.
Aye, and I'm the one who managed to get her arrested, so how about you just let me handle this one, and I'm
Make
just gonna look at him.
You can either make an intimidation check or persuasion check. You decide.
Definitely going to be intimidation.
Go for it.
Either one's good, so. $18.
18. So he looks at you for a good long second. You've got half a minute.
Aye. 30 seconds.
So he walks off.
And so I grab Gallows and I lead her off to the side. And so I know you're a lieutenant of the guild, and I've talked to a good friend of mine. And I know you've been causing trouble for, the kingdoms. And then with one hand on her shoulder, I pull out my other sword and I shove it through her chest.
Okay. Go ahead and make an attack roll.
Modified 21.
Modified 21, that's a hit. Let's go ahead and roll some initiative. Okay, what'd you roll?
I'm actually going to give you an inspiration for that roll.
Sure.
I'll mark that off in just a minute. 13, 14, 17.
Alright, so she actually beat you. She is going to take the disengage action and dash.
And so I will attack of opportunity.
Yes. No, she's taking disengage.
Oh, disengage. Yeah, she's disengaging.
Mm-hmm.
Then she can't dash then.
Yeah, she can
That's
only
right.
do it on
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I will say she will dash. Go ahead and take your attack of opportunity.
Okay.
Roll damage, by the way, for your...
Oh, yeah.
Because you never did. So get that damage. For my little good
11.
friend.
Yeah, 11.
11?
damage. Yes.
Alright, good enough.
And I will roll for the attack of opportunity. 13 again. So yeah.
Yeah, 21.
21 again.
21? Alright, so roll damage on that.
9
9.
damage. Yeah.
Alright. Alright, make a perception roll. As she is now dashing through the crowd.
Mm-hmm. Thirteen.
Alright. So you see her still with a rope around her chest, bleeding.
Mm-hmm.
But the crowd is thick. And she heads right in there, being smaller, a dwarf. She's able to kind of sneak in there, and you see the guard. Hey! As soon as you take that knife out, you take that attack of opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
He starts running after. I'm going to do a perception roll for him too.
Sure.
Yeah, right. All right. So, so he's like, wait! And he starts running through the crowd after her. You have her for a second, and then she disappears. But this is kind of what Gefelda does. She's a rogue,
Yeah.
you know, and she's gone.
And do I see the guard chasing her at all, or did he disappear into the crowd too?
Make a perception roll.
7. No, wait, 10.
10.
Mm-hmm.
I would say he's not trying to hide.
Yeah.
So yeah, you do see him.
I'm actually going to follow. I'm going to chase too. I'm going to follow after where I
The
think
guard?
she went. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you chase the guard for a few minutes, and he looks completely lost. He rolled really low on his perception roll.
Ouch.
So he's like, "What did you do?"
I didn't do anything. She attacked me.
She was bound. What did you do?
She's a rogue, man. There's
Why is there blood?
She attacked me and,
With what?
well, she's bound. Duh. She tried to choke me.
You'll answer for this, dwarf. I promise you that.
Aye, well, there's nothing I could have done. I had to defend myself, as you probably
Lieutenant
should have understood.
Of the guild.
Well,
If I'm not hung, you will be. And he walks away.
so be it then.
All right.
back to the Clamhammer. You guys slide that panel open. You just smell that kind of sulfurous smell.
I followed them, right?
Yeah.
I just wanted to be noted that I did grab a drink as we walked by. Like, just the fullest one I could find, I just grabbed it.
And it's actually a full-size pint. So for a gnome,
Just
it's
both
like
arms.
yeah. It's like a quarter keg for a normal person. Yeah. So he's just following you, like sloshing this drink.
And back. I'm sure that my bartender Greer could find something that may better suit your stature.
Nope, this is fun.
I'm fine. Suit yourself. Now, Tara, I know you are adept at detecting traps and other potential risks in unknown places.
So are you saying you want me to go down into the dark?
Well, not alone, just first. If you don't mind.
First, okay, yes, with the baby, yes, of course.
Well, it's not really a baby,
Don't.
but
And I'm gonna put up one finger. If you say that it is not a baby, I will not go down there.
Okay.
Smart.
That is the strangest looking baby I've ever seen.
I'd hate to see the father.
Well, technically he's dead. So.
All right.
Technically killed them both.
Go ahead and make a perception roll.
Oh, yeah. 27.
27. No traps, but as you are looking at the stone, looking for wiring, looking for pressure plates, anything that might activate a trap, you do see an extraordinary amount of acid burns on the floor and on the walls as well.
And I will follow immediately behind her.
So what's the marching order? Tara, Cole,
I'll follow up.
Daedalus, and...
I'll be in the back.
Okay. All right. And are you going to finish that drink?
Yes. I want you to know, I'm just sitting here. Every step it gets a little bit higher. Just pounding it as quickly as I can.
All right. So you got that like foam mustache.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, my blood alcohol level is probably like 100%.
Probably. Impressive. It's good ale too. So you guys make it down to the bottom of the steps, and I'll be right back.
Go.
Oh, yes. Oh,
You just realized you're not there.
You got so excited. Yeah, I'm gonna be jacking your dice for this one.
yeah, go for it. I'll eventually get some. Make it there.
All right, guys, let's make some room.
Crap.
One on the left. Yep.
Teamwork makes the dream work, guys.
Yeah. Beautiful.
And I'll just leave me over here.
Okay, so I do have a Tiko. Not a Tiko, but a... Actually, I do need a Tiko, too. As well.
Yeah.
Here is... I don't have a gnome, I'm sorry. That's as close as I can get. I know, I'm
I
sorry.
got a little goblin with an axe, close enough, I guess.
Let me get a Tiko.
Should get like a little like matchbox to be his little backpack.
Man, I'm not there.
When I came up with a character, I did tell the
All I
backpack is
wanted-
probably bigger than he
All I
is.
want to emphasize
Because
is
it's a giant steampunk battery.
That's
Hey
awesome.
man,
Just like
you got to think it from a Barag point of view. Personal vendetta.
you done messed up.
Here's Tiko.
Yep.
Oh, there we go. That works. Man, looks like it's out of Hero Escape.
It really is. Those HeroScape pieces are amazing.
Oh yeah.
Alright, so you get to... Oh, hold on, let me fix this here. So, you emerge at the bottom of the steps here. So the marching order is Tara, Cole, Daedalus, and Twinge Tinkertop, and Tiko. Bringing up the rear. So what do you guys do? You do see kind of a light emanating. It seems almost like flame.
So I say we move forward.
I'm gonna go stealth and check out, kind of to see what's in the room.
Okay. Very hard to see what exactly is in the room because you don't have dark vision.
Mm-hmm.
You see little bits of fire in the form of I don't want to say fire pits, but yeah, essentially fire pits. Kind of in the middle of the room there.
Okay.
And there's a few fire pits. There's 2, 3, 4, a total of 5 fire pits in the room.
So I'm gonna head back to the group, and seems to be a lot of fire down here. Surprised the place hasn't lit up. And I kind of look up to where the Clamhammer is.
Yeah, it's pretty far underneath the Clamhammer.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stone between the Clamhammer and the this kind of lower
Part of the.
yeah.
And
A lot not a lot of finely worked stone, and if Barag was here, he'd be able to tell you that it was not very finely worked. But yeah, there's a lot. It looks like it was carved out, but in a very rudimentary sort of way,
Right.
very basic sort of way.
So I say we tread lightly. And
The second that you say tread lightly here,
oh, and as if on cue. And so I go to right about to the front of the entrance.
okay. Does anybody go with you?
Yes, I do.
I follow as well.
Okay.
Me as well.
All right.
I'm telling the dog to stay there though.
All right. So the second that you kind of come to that archway, you see off in the distance a large, hulking beast with a huge metal cross. But this thing's probably about 13 foot tall. It's just a mass of muscle with a big wide belt that has a skull, right, a human-sized skull, like right in the middle of the belt. It's all gray skin, very muscular, and it almost has no neck. It's like the head leads right to the heavily muscled shoulder, almost like a pyramid shape, with bits of skull popping through the skin where the head is, and 2 very huge, long, almost elephant-like tusks jut out from the shoulders, right where the lower jaw would be. It kind of like jut out. What do you guys do?
What is this?
Need everybody to make a religion check.
Nah.
Ooh.
Turn this
It has
history.
Big wisdom mod.
Definitely look for that one.
I mean, that's what. That's 4.
Modified 20.
Modified 20, okay.
22.
22,
15.
15.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, so none of you know exactly what this creature is, with the exception of Cole, Twinge, and Terra. You know that it's demonic in origin. That's the only thing that you can tell. As soon as you see it, you're like, my God, this is a job for a paladin.
Yeah. Busy getting arrested.
But not very paladin-like behavior. I'm gonna murder you right now.
Yeah, I'm a little
Yeah.
shocked about it. Like.
Oathbreaker.
Exactly.
All right, so yeah, it look. You can definitely tell it's demonic. A few things kind of are red flags for you in that regard. The sulfur smell being one of them.
So what do you guys do?
And that's the only thing we see in the room as far as
From your viewpoint, yes, that is the only thing that you see.
And where is he exactly?
You see that he's over by. There are 4 recesses that you can't see from your angle, but he's coming out from one of the rear recesses.
Okay. So again, I'm gonna try and use stealth to go and again investigate a little more.
Okay.
Hopefully, I roll better this time. Halfling luck. Jesus Christ.
You just always just halfway luck.
Yeah, really. Honestly, it's
If
crazy.
you ever crit fail,
roll.
it's just straight up impressive.
Oh, 28.
28.
Look,
I will tell you that he rolled a 24 on his perception roll. I thought for sure he was going to see you. And as you kind of sneak around, which way are you going? That way? Okay. As you sneak around to that first recess, for a second, like his head turns in your direction, and you can kind of see that side profile, those thick muscles underneath that gray skin, the tusk jutting out from that shoulder area. His head kind of turns your way, and then he stops and continues walking to the other side of this underground cavern.
So I'm gonna kind of stop in my track and then.
Okay. So you get to that first recess, and you see the remains of a human within this cage. It looks like it was tortured for quite some time. There are old wounds on it, and there are fresh wounds on it. But this person is expired.
So I'm gonna look around, I guess in the area, or to see if there's any other remains besides that one in the cage.
You see 3 more recesses, so you're assuming 3 more cages.
Okay.
And you see kind of a body in the middle of this cavern. Between the pits of fire, you see a body.
So, and if I motion to them to come to me, it would break me out of stealth, correct?
You don't know.
Oh man.
Can I go ahead and just prep a spell?
Go ahead.
Spell.
Sure.
So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and prepare a frostbite, which is the cantrip. So I keep vials along pouches here. I'm just gonna pull 2 things from the top, pop caps off, place them together, shake them up real good. Reach into my pack, pull out a glove, drop this what looks like a snowball in my right hand, and I'm just gonna come right up by this corner and just chill right there. Because why is that?
That's
blood?
fire.
Okay, that's fire.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe not there. Setting a little closer to fire than I want to. Actually, I'm gonna attempt to stealth up and come up by Courtney, but my stealth is horrible. So sorry, I might completely f this up for you. Oh, not bad. 15.
Okay. Total?
Yeah. God, don't let him see.
All right. So you prep your concoction. You walk up. You see that fire. You kind of think a little bit better of it. You walk over to the left. Tycho following you.
I actually commanded Tycho to stay at the entrance.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Tycho stays.
Yeah, Tycho's chilling all the way in the back.
Okay. And you get there right behind Terra, but the clanging of that big pack that you have, he hears it. He turns quickly to you, and he says, "Meet." Roll initiative.
God damn it. Since it's prepared, I can actually just kind of throw it at him on his turn, kind of, couldn't I?
I will say, yeah, surprise round, sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
then I'm definitely throwing it at him as soon as he turns.
Okay. All right. As soon as he gets within range, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got
19.
11.
21.
Okay. Hold on 1 sec. Everybody's
I have
got
-1 dexterity.
Ouch.
Okay. Hold on 1 sec.
It's an old injury. Don't judge me.
I like that. Okay. So, 25 to 20.
I know.
25 to
Just
20?
the last one.
No?
Oh, 21. Sorry.
21. Okay, so
Okay.
believe it or not, he actually goes first. And then Cole goes next. Okay. 20 to 15.
Yeah. I had to think about it for a second.
Oh my
I was
goodness.
19.
Alright, 20 to 15. Okay, so 15 to 10.
I had 11.
And 11?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what we're going to do. For Daedalus and Twinge, you guys are going to share this marker. Okay,
Mhm.
and then...
Yeah.
It's okay.
Alright, so it sees Twinge, and by extension, Terra. And it says, meat. It's kind of what you're
Ooh,
looking at.
okay.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna die.
Let's do this.
So...
Glare all you want. I was gonna change what I was gonna do.
You should have been there. Oh, he's not that big.
Yeah.
Rachel, this is
30,
what, 60 feet? We're gonna pretend I can really throw this damn snowball.
30. Alright, so yeah, he's did a dash.
He's within life range, isn't he?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Your spell range?
Because it's 60 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm throwing
Each
that.
one of those squares is 5 feet.
Yeah.
Alright, so you have your spell prepared. You are ready for a surprise.
Yeah. Just
Go for it.
chucking it at him. It's a spell attack, isn't it?
I believe so. Hold on.
No, Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
I
What's
have
your
the spell
DC?
book stuff. My DC is wherever I can find it. Sorry. 16.
13. So it succeeded.
Alright. So 2d6 and it has disadvantage on the next weapon attack roll.
Alright. So go ahead and roll damage. As this
9.
snowball concoction that you created hits it. This thing being an element of demonic fire, it affects it quite a bit. So you said, how much? 15?
Wait, what's up? I rolled 9 on damage.
9 total?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Alright. So now it's going to be Cole's turn. Cole?
I am going to step through. Let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. And I'm going to hold my action
Mm-hmm.
until he takes any movement.
Okay.
And when he does that, it'll be a winging shot on him.
Awesome. Alright, next is going to be Tara Highhill.
Oh man, I'm gonna just as you know, it's coming towards us, I'm gonna look at this little tinkering gnome and give him like just the dirtiest look.
Yeah, this is on you, yeah.
I did my best.
That's fair.
And I'm hooking on each dagger to
Okay.
my gloves. Does that take an action or to do that? No. But still looking at him, like keeping contact
Sure.
with him as I am. And so I am actually.
Alright,
So I will throw my Frostbrand dagger.
go for it.
$20.
20 does hit. So go ahead and roll damage.
Okay.
You don't get sneak attack damage.
Yeah.
So
Darn.
just regular ass damage.
You sound so happy with that.
I'm sorry.
13
13. All
for
right.
the first one.
Okay, so that is piercing damage. Yes.
Piercing, and then 5 of it was cold.
Okay. All right.
And does it take an action to recall one?
It's a bonus action.
It's a bonus action, so I can recall both of them at the same time, or just
No,
one?
you only have one bonus action per round. So if
Okay.
you throw one,
Mhm.
you can recall one. If you
Yeah.
throw two, you can still only recall one, and the one remains.
Okay,
chained.
so I'm actually just gonna recall it
Okay.
instead of throwing my second one.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it. That's gonna end your turn. Alright.
Yes.
Okay. Next up, it's Daedalus or Twinge, whoever wants to take their turn.
Since he's closer, I'll let him take it.
Okay.
Twinge, go for it.
So I'm gonna do my equivalent of the spell Ice Knife. I just kind of elbow my battery pack, and this drawer pops out. I yank a hilt out. I pull the other side, and there's this like frozen cold drawer. Go in, press a button, and as I pull it out, a giant ice shard forms as I'm pulling it, and then I just launch it at him.
Nice.
I do not know if that's. I don't think that one's a spell attack either. It is a spell attack.
It is a spell attack. All right, so
Plus
go ahead.
8.
What'd you roll?
12 in total.
12 total. Unfortunately, that misses.
Oh my
As
god.
the ice
But-
just
Missing, it still shatters. So
Okay.
he has to make a dexterity save.
all right. What's the DC? What's your
16.
DC? 16. Natural 19.
God damn. No luck.
So your ice shard flies right past him, right into the fire, and just kind of breaks apart and melts.
God, that's only a first level spell.
Next up is and are you going to take any movement? You still have movement if you want it.
I'm just gonna back right. Well, actually, you know what? He's kind of on the edge of my range. I'll just stay there.
All right.
Oh,
Daedalus,
great, all
you're up.
range.
Okay, so we're moving to just, I think probably just inside of the.
Here?
Of course.
It's like pokes his head in.
Typical Daedalus move.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna be in the back.
I like how he fully admits it at this point.
And I'm one of the squishiest people there.
He admits it too.
Me too.
I'm telling you, he's gonna be the villain in your next campaign. He's gonna outlive all you bitches. All of you.
I'm gonna cast Toll the Dead.
Ooh, all right.
So we'll start. And since he already took damage, that means it's D12 instead of D8s.
Okay, is there a
And I
save?
get 2 of them.
That's a save, right?
Yeah.
What's your DC?
16.
16? And that's con? I believe.
Wisdom.
Wisdom. Okay. 21.
So you guys only get to take half.
Half of your damage, so go and roll damage.
7.
So the Toll the Dead spell, that's necrotic, yes?
Yes.
I believe, yeah.
That's probably about 3 or 4. One of the others.
You might have this.
4. Alright, so yeah, he takes
2.
the full 4 damage.
Yeah, if you want to.
As you see a few boils pop up on his arm, little black veins kind of rise to the surface.
Yeah, when I casted it, you see like this really like a butler figure appear. He's just like a little kind he just goes ding, ding, ding. He bows and disappears.
Nice, nice. Well done. All right. Next up is going to be the bad guy, the demon. All right. So sees Tara.
Oh, thank you.
All right, Cole, you get to attack because it's taking movement, and you were holding your action.
As I see him moving, I just raise my pistol and aim right for the top of one of his feet,
Right.
and
God,
take
that's gotta
that,
hurt. Can you imagine?
Yeah,
Shot
right?
on the top of your foot.
Oh god.
Oh, dude.
take that winging shot. So let's see if I make that attack. 21.
Ooh, that hit.
So I'm going to do normal damage on that, so it'll be 1d10, and he will make a strength saving throw.
That's piercing damage.
Yes. Strength saving throw of DC 16.
Or be knocked prone.
Or be not prone, right?
Man. 12. All right.
That's going to be. That's proficiency isn't damage.
No.
Okay.
It's your dex mod plus your roll.
Okay. So that's. I mean, I should know that by now. It's gonna be 11 damage.
Okay, cool. So. All right. So you see this thing move towards Terra. As soon as you see it move, you see that leg just start to pop up, and you shoot at it. You hit the top of the leg. You see bone and blood kind of splatter up, and it just falls right to his face on its belly, losing its sword, but still holding its crossbow. Looks like it hurt a lot, but he is down. And is that going to end your turn? You still have movement if you want it.
Not only my turn.
Okay, I believe you have well, you can't do extra attack if you hold your attack.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, believe it or not, he's prone. He's going to take half his movement to get up, and he's going to get up, finish the movement, and attack Terra. Man, that sucks. That really sucks. All right, so
I don't know what you said.
13.
No.
All right.
Okay. Now I know what kind of DM you are.
All right, so yeah, he misses. That's gonna actually end his turn. Next up, Cole.
Okay, so I'm gonna take a sharpshooter shot at him and just aim
Louise.
right for the side.
-5 to hit, +10 to damage, right?
Yes.
All right, go for it.
Nat 20, let's see it.
So.
Not bad.
24.
Not bad. That's a hit.
Okay, so that's gonna be. 10 plus. Okay, so that's gonna be 23 damage.
23 damage.
God
Nice.
damn.
Good lord.
Okay, so you see it, and you take a second. As you close one eye, you inhale through your nose, you exhale through your mouth really slow, and then you hold it, and you gently squeeze the trigger, and you get it right in the gut, a gut shot. Very satisfying, but it doesn't. It should have done more damage where you hit it.
Okay. And so, feeling a little perturbed by the lack of damage, I decided to take my extra attack and take a regular shot at him.
Go for it. What'd you roll? A 1. Oh!
Halfling luck.
Oh, half a
Oh, lucky you.
Like, if this other gun breaks, at least he's...
Yeah. Fix it!
Oh, man. Okay. 15.
15 unfortunately misses as that shot goes a little bit wide.
Okay, so that will end my turn.
All right. Next up, Terra Highhill. You see him taking shots from Cole.
I am going to use my Eye of the Deep amulet,
Okay.
and it's a 30-foot cone radius in front of me. So he would be caught in it. And must make a DC 17 con check or be stunned for 2d4 rounds.
14. Okay. 7 rounds.
Woo!
Okay. For the sake of this, for 7 rounds, I will say you guys completely destroy this thing. No need to go through the whole,
Yeah.
Bing bang shaboodle.
song and dance. Yeah, Cole, you take your shots, Daedalus, you're doing your Eldritch Blast.
The DM.
Twinge, you grab your backpack and you're slinging shit at it. Terra, you're cutting it up with a knife, thinking, I wish Barag was here. Just fucking prison shanking this thing until it's so much goo on the floor of this cavern.
You don't look so
Well done,
satisfied
guys. No,
about
well
that.
done. Well done. You know what? I'm proud of you guys. You guys
Straight
are
dominant.
You guys are thinking. Sharpshooter. You guys are thinking. I like that. Using that amulet? Genius. Alright, so. What do you guys do?
I'm actually gonna search for anything interesting on the body of this demon.
I'm specifically looking for like magical items, be it his weapon or anything along those lines.
As soon as he dies, because he was stunned, he normally gets a reaction
Yeah.
where he can kind of self-destruct. But because he was stunned, he couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as he dies, his weapons disintegrate. It's in his thing.
That's depressing.
Yeah. But I will say the only make an investigation roll, both of you. Not investigation.
Can one of us do the roll and then it would be help or?
If you want to do a group,
Yeah.
One roll with advantage, sure. Yeah.
'Cause
Make
I
an investigation
have-
roll.
Do you have it as a proficiency?
Wait, which one? Investigation?
Mm-hmm.
No.
I have to.
So if he's helping you, you can roll it at advantage.
But you're splitting whatever you find with me. At best. Please roll
Okay.
again. Anyway, I should have made that roll.
18.
18 total.
Yeah, 18.
You go through and then there's a pouch with about a dozen human fingers.
Ooh.
Some of them have looked like they've been gnawed upon.
You can have that. As a matter of fact, he's going to look at her and say that. He's going to open it. You can have this one.
Then you see another pouch that has a human tongue in it.
You can have this one, dear.
You know, if we get enough
But-
of these pouches, we might be able to assemble a whole human.
Flesh golem, here we come! Yeah. But you do notice something interesting. On his skin is a branding. The branding is that of a goat head. You have seen the symbol before. And as soon as Daedalus sees it, his eyes widen in recognition.
And I was like, shit.
What is that shit? What is that?
Daedalus, do
What
you
does that
have something to explain? Hold on a little bit, Cole. Do you know any more about this? And I'm like trembling at this point.
Yeah, remember when we had to find that, what was it, half-orc girl?
Real cute.
Yeah, you remember her?
Yeah, I know what that's from. I've seen that before. I know what that's from, and that's why I am shaking. And I'm gonna I can't say anymore. I'm like pointing from him to the brand, to him to the brand.
What is it from?
Daedalus, would you care to explain? And I'm just kind of shaking to myself, and I'm petting Nox.
I need to figure out what's going on underneath my tavern.
There's this little coven called the Grim Shadow. I joined it, but only so we could be pointed in the direction of finding a half-orc girl out in a really nasty swamp.
I don't think he needs the full details. I'm just
So I was the part of the bargain is trade for information. I had to join this coven. That is a symbol.
This is the coven that you are currently a part of.
Yes.
There was a hag with nails.
Daedalus, come over to this fire.
Do you remember when I spoke to that dead guy back in the Isle of Chult?
Yes.
Yeah, I got the abilities from them. I very rarely use it though, and I prefer not to. It's creepy.
They have nails, man.
Is this-
Nails in the
Yeah.
teeth.
Does stuff mean
You guys
anything
are
to
crazy.
you? This creature and I just point at the
Well,
cages.
the creature is new to me. They barely tell me anything. They just give me this coin here, and I bring out that coin real quick. It's a summoning coin of some sort.
What does it summon exactly?
Let's find out.
No, we don't need to find out.
No.
No.
Not what I mean. Not what I mean.
No, I
I have a thing for this.
I
Let me see the coin.
put the coin in.
So I'm gonna reach back, and what I'm doing is the identify spell.
Sure.
And I basically yank out what looks like a store scanner, not modern days, and I just run it over this item a little bit. A little light comes out, and just looking at it, and then I like pull out this what looks like a monitor, very high tech. What does it tell me?
Okay, as you pull out a pine cone to check the.
I wonder about this guy.
Just like pulling up future technology over here. Hey, I made it. I'm patented.
It's a fucking pine cone with a shell glued onto it.
You owe me money,
scan this.
Walmart.
So you cast the identify spell. It is a communication tool used for witches to communicate with each other.
So I know how to use it, all that crap. Does it require attunement?
It is, yeah, it does require attunement.
Then I can't just randomly shout into it. That's inconvenient.
I will say no. It doesn't require attunement. It requires you to be a certain class to use it. You have to be a warlock.
That's inconvenient. It's just a communication device, dude. Not really as much of a summoning thing. Scream into it. We'll see what happens.
Boy, that voice went away, huh?
Yeah, I just completely lost it there. I don't know what happened.
I prefer not to. The largest distance and the least amount of time I can be in contact with these folks, the better. And I just drop it back in.
And then I point to Daedalus and I say, and I second that. They are creepy and they have nails in their gums.
Okay, but we now know.
I have one too, just so you can't see it. I got illusion.
We now know that they're here. Oh
Oh,
God, I can't even
do
hit the
not
voice
tell-
anymore.
Oh, don't tell anybody about him, me, or anything regarding it. They'll
I
probably
don't know,
hunt me down.
guy.
They'll
I'm a
probably
little
hunt me
drunk
down.
right now. I can't make any promises.
Well, they'll probably hunt
I
me
drank
down.
my body weight in alcohol like as we walked in.
It's fair.
So yeah, they'll probably hunt me down, and then they'll hunt you, because you know about them. And just say there is a lady in town who is with them. I won't say any names, but there is one.
By
who
the
lives
way,
here.
I have called Tiko over, and literally anything I can find on this guy of value, I've thrown into his little storage unit.
Okay. Nothing much of value other than, again, fingers, a tongue.
I'm going to
really about
respect
it.
the real.
Cordy can have fingers and
Not
tongue.
Make an
I follow along with him. As he's
So do it with advantage since you're being helped by Cole.
Okay, well, we got a 9 and a 17.
17. As you walk around the chamber, again, more remains from, it looks like one being a sailor, another being maybe like a bar wench, barmaid, and one being a nobleman.
So there's nobody living in this place. They're all gone.
It looks like it was designed for torture.
I'd like to approach each body and see if there's any identifying marks or items
Sure.
on them.
Sure. I will say, do you want to take 10 with each body?
Sure.
All right. So for all intents and purposes, your investigation roll is 10 plus your investigation modifier.
So it's intelligence.
Yeah.
So it'd be 11.
Okay. So with all four bodies, you find a total of about 12 gold and 3 copper. So you can add that to your inventory. No other real valuables to speak of. Most of them have been tortured and mutilated. And that's all you could really tell. None of them, you don't recognize any of them.
I'm actually. Can I head to the middle part?
Sure. Before you do that, Barag, you're up top.
So I'm actually going to just make my way back to the Clamhammer after the little incident that ensued.
Sure. As you make your way to the Clamhammer, there's a very large crowd. You see the beautiful elvish noblewoman, Lady Danae, walk into the Clamhammer, and she sees you and recognizes you, and walks over. I heard you were back in town.
Us and, well, wherever my group is, We're back, Valor's Ransom. We survived our little ordeal with, well, the guild. There's a lot of story that goes with that.
I fear I might have a little information in that regard.
Oh, I hope it's good news or maybe
And
better news.
as you say that, about 5 of the town guard walk into the Clamhammer. Barag Drak,
Aye?
you are under arrest. Please do not resist.
I won't resist.
So everybody, there's kind of a hush, like there's surprise, there's a shock, and Embarrass, who is no longer there, but Waisana is there, and you see her look toward the guard, and you see her look to you, and she looks to the guard again, and she puts her hand on her sword, and she starts walking toward the guard.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I was reading through something. I was listening. I was reading through something real quick. So I see her and I grip my sword as well, and I take a step back.
Okay.
And I just look at the guards, and I know what happened was wrong. She took advantage of the situation.
So she kind of is, Waisana's kind of looking at you and almost kind of like holding her attack sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
She's just waiting to see what you do.
I look at her and I kind of just give her the nod to like stand down, almost.
Okay. So she takes her hand off the hilt of her sword, but she's still looking at the guard, the town guard.
Mm-hmm.
Tell it to the magistrate, Commander Drak.
I'll do that. I have it coming, so to speak. And I just put out my hands.
No need for that. Please follow us.
Can you just do one thing for me? Let Valor's Ransom know where I'm going.
They shall be notified.
That's all I need.
Very well. So they escort you out. Alright, Valor's Ransom. No, the rest. Valor's Ransom. What do you do?
Is this thing in the center of the room here? Is this one of the
That is
bodies?
another body, yeah.
That's one of the ones I looked at.
No, you looked at the ones
Yeah,
in the
various
remaining
cages.
cages.
Right. Okay.
But there is that one in the middle.
So I'd like to do the same thing, but with this one.
Investigation roll?
Yes.
Okay. Make an
Just kind
investigation
of
roll.
look for any identifying aspects.
Okay.
And then I'll help.
Go for
I
it.
guess I'll roll for this one. 13.
13. Tara, I need you to make a roll with advantage.
27.
27. He has a tattoo, very intricate, beautiful ink design of a phoenix on his back. And the second that you see it, you know it's from the Dawn's Phoenix crew of privateers out of Waterdeep.
Well, looks like
I need you to make an intelligence check. So, do you share what you find?
yeah. So I turned to Cole and well,
14.
looks like we've got here somebody from Waterdeep.
What makes you think that?
His tattoo, the Phoenix, from a privateer group up in Waterdeep.
So we're dealing with witches and pirates too. Underneath my tavern.
You know that you were told some time ago. Well, make an intelligence check. I'm not gonna give this to you. I need you to roll for it.
Another one separate from the 14.
Oh, you made the 14?
Yeah.
Yeah.
that
Oh,
was-
okay. I'm sorry. I totally had a brain fart there. Yeah, no, you remember that Rodtel had told you that there was a witness that knew the identity of a lieutenant of the guild, and that he wanted that there may be work for you to escort him back to Baldur's Gate. It is unusual to find a sailor from Waterdeep here at Baldur's Gate when there are no ships coming into Baldur's Gate. So he came by land.
Okay.
And privateers, you know, because you've lived all your life, they don't usually come by land.
Right.
Yeah.
And this, to be clear, this gentleman is dead.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So, because we're looking at it, I'm wondering if
Yeah,
he's like,
I'm just
yeah.
from the ambient heat from being between two bonfires, he's
Yeah.
partially cooked
Okay.
and gnawed upon.
Delicious.
Okay. So I'd like to search
Salty.
his body for any items.
There's not much to search. Again, he's partially cooked. His clothes are ash.
Oh, okay.
His flesh is he's got a nice crust going.
Gotcha. Okay.
So,
Well, I may need
Or some pepperoni
your
or
help
something.
getting to the bottom of why this man is down here, because somebody knew about this space and they've been operating in it and recently. So now that
I don't like the looks of it, and if I know from my previous experiences, and I kind of look to Daedalus with witches.
Do you share what you know with the group about the bounty?
yes,
Okay. Because that's new information that you did not
Okay.
know.
right. Because that was
You knew.
that was at the ball, right?
Yeah,
was at
I
the
think
ball,
you
yeah.
talked to him
It
prior.
was at the ball.
That's right. Okay.
It was just you and Rodtail.
Yeah. So as I get the opportunity, I'll let all of them know.
This does not bode well.
No, I need to make sure that this space is safe. Get some men down here to clear out the bodies and clean it up as best as we can, and just lock it away for now.
What makes you think that they'll be of any help? What if there was an inside job? There's no way, absolutely no way the city guard or somebody didn't know about this.
You're probably right. We'll need to find out.
I say we just keep an extra eye on this place. We don't tell anybody until we get more information.
Wow.
I fear if we let people down here, it's just going to cause a panic. Right now, people have hope. The last thing we need is to destroy that.
You know what? You're right. Eventually, I'd like to see these bodies buried or returned to their kin. But for now, they can stay down here. I just don't like knowing that they're here. We'll have to dig into it a little bit first to make sure that we handle it as discreetly and safely as possible. And so I just take one more loop around, and I kind of just I feel along the walls, and I try to do a very thorough just inspection of the room to make sure there's no more threats or
Sure.
anything of that nature.
The only real threatening thing you see are these random pools of acid.
Okay.
But you did see acid coming out of the creature's body as you guys completely pummeled it into a puddle of goo. So you can probably surmise that that's where the acid came from. It was probably
Okay.
ejecting that acid and putting people in that acid.
Got it.
It's very likely that there are bodies dissolved in these pools of acid.
So I make that loop back around and I come up to Daedalus. Now, I may need your help getting to the bottom of this coven thing. You are a member, even if not a very active one, as you tell me. And frankly, I haven't known you very long. I need to make sure that your coven or you personally don't pose a threat to us or what we're trying to get done here. I hope you don't take it personally, but
I don't. I won't tell. Well, first of all, I won't tell them anything.
but just know that if this goes the way that it might go, you may have to pick a side.
And I will when the time comes.
Hey,
Fair
Cole. Cole. On the side of Tara's backpack. You gave him your crossbow, you jackass.
Yeah, I sure did. I still got this though, and I just point my pistol at him. Oh, and look at that, Barag isn't around to stop me.
That's true. It's 10:35.
Huh. And I just kind of look at him for a second and pause. Which direction is north?
About 3 o'clock. Directionally.
I just shove my pistol back in the holster. Well, I think this room is safe enough for now. Say we make it out of here.
And so I'm gonna turn to our tinkering friend. You done there? Looking at fingers and tongues.
Yeah. As I walk out, I'm just gonna chuck the fingers and tongues into the fire. The first fire I pass.
Sure.
Just like, no, I don't need that.
You see the tongue kind of blister and pop in the fire.
Oh, damn, I could have eaten that.
That went weird real fast.
What can I say? I'm drunk.
Yeah.
He's like hammered it.
He really is. Like, I feel like I really downplay how drunk.
You'll pray to me.
Is that a shrunken head?
Oh yeah, yeah. I definitely want. I want him to take a look at this shrunken head and be like, "Now, where do you come from?" And I want him to just bat it a little bit. Is it hanging on like a cord or
Yeah, it
anything?
is.
Yeah,
It is.
bat it so it's swaying back and forth.
Don't be a jackass. Jackass.
How does it talk, being just a head?
I'm a shrunken head. How do you talk? Shrunken head.
He's funny. I like him.
Everybody likes this thing.
He's a sweet.
Get with it, Cole.
Yeah,
Get on the
yeah.
shrunken head train.
And I just
It's all about the shrunken head.
I just shake my head and walk away as he's talking to me.
And I thought I had a shrunken head. Jackass.
I just grip my pistol really tight and stop in my tracks and then just keep moving.
Sure.
So I just look at the shrunken head. Don't worry, we're gonna get you that bowl. Make you look all pretty.
Yes, I can't wait for that port side nookie.
I can't wait either.
Yes.
I kind of wink at him.
I'm kind of like your wingman. Or your winghead. Whatever you prefer.
A little bit of column A and B, and I just walk away and I start petting Nox.
Sure. And she has actually visibly calmed since the death of this creature, this demonic presence within the town.
As I'm walking out, I'm like, man, did somebody spike my drink? I swear, I feel like I'm hallucinating this whole freaking thing.
Fear and loathing in the Clamhammer. All bad. Yeah. Barag and Fear and loathing. Alright, so Twinge and Barag.
Yep.
Alright, so
We would have been best friends
yeah.
if he wasn't out committing murder.
Very unpaladin-like. Alright, so you guys get back into the Clamhammer proper. You see Lady Danae in the Clamhammer, and she's looking as beautiful as ever, and very, very concerned. And as soon as she sees you, she kind of runs over to you, and she stops, kind of awkwardly, because she kind of now remembers that, hey, I'm in public. So she says, Nicholas, you're back.
Yes, we are.
I kind of kept a very occasional eye on you. I hope you don't mind. When you were gone, I just wanted to make sure that you were alive. Things have been happening here since you guys left.
I just nodded my head and said, okay.
Barag has been arrested.
Arrested?
Yeah.
What did he do?
I don't know. I was talking to him and the guard came in and took him.
Are we present for this
Yeah.
conversation?
Yeah.
So
You guys all came up at the same time.
Who's Barag?
as soon as she says that, I
Yeah. We're just like, who's Barag?
Barag, that just sounds fun.
Yeah.
as soon as she says that, I walk over to the bar and approach
Greer.
Greer.
So, boss. Yeah, I know. I tried looking
What
for
happened?
you. I didn't know where you were.
Well, that's a story too. But what happened? Guards were in
They
here.
came in and arrested him.
Did they say for what?
They didn't say. They didn't handcuff him, but they arrested him.
In my conversation over there, I'm just like, I vote jailbreak.
Well,
I'm going for a fun night.
How many have you had?
One me-sized drink.
You're cut off at the water.
one huge one. Yeah.
Have some water on me.
You're a good friend.
All right. So, Valor's Ransom. This is where we'll end it. The arrest of Barag. Then his trial and his execution.
Spoiler, buddy.
I'm kidding.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So yeah, this is where we will.
Yeah, don't worry.
end
I'm just gonna move out here. I'll replace you on the show. It's all good.
Nobody can replace Barag.
I'm
Ever.
kidding.
Ever.
I'm kidding. Barag is the best. My drunken no will never
You just
compare.
vilified yourself to the only one person that listens to the show. That bastard, how could he say that? Fuck Twinge. Barag forever. Alright, so, yeah, so this is the end of the episode. I hope everybody enjoyed the episode. We had a special guest playing Twinge Tinkertop and Tiko. And so that was fun. Hopefully
That's
you'll be
great.
around a little bit more often. We can do this.
Yeah.
It'd be great to have Twinge back on.
Can't wait.
With a special delivery and Daedalus reunited, and it feels so good. So we'll see what happens next week. All right. So for now, play D&D, be awesome, and love each other. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Nice.